at its third pre-Olympic tune-up game. They handle Serbia and NBA star Nikola Jokic 105-79. Steph Curry leading the U.S. with 24 points.
It's time. You know what time it is? Time for Tuscaloosa's longest-running sports show.
The biggest goal of our team,
especially in the first half,
we at Bama, we're trying to be the best. Always is to win a national championship.
Something cool to look back on.
We don't want to waste a failure.
You're inside the game.
John Mechie on the ground.
Appreciate your interest in the game.
On your home for Alabama sports.
And Alabama wins.
Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. Powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota. And now, here's your award-winning host, Ryan Fowler.
And a big good afternoon to you. Welcome into the game. T-Town Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. I am back in Tuscaloosa, and I'm glad to be back. It was a lot of fun to be able to cover the University of Alabama, but when Auburn comes in, most people go out. I've been told it's kind of a ghost town over there. But, hey, regardless, Auburn is there, and I'm sure a lot of people will be talking about where you place the Auburn Tigers, looking through the SEC, and I voted for 1 through 16. You got to go out and select. That's one of the things that we're going to be doing today, because I want to talk about the top four and the bottom four. The bottom four, the top four, when you look at the SEC, now we've heard the case, right? The cases have been made. You know, where do you believe that the top four will be? Where do you think the bottom four will be? Because I think that's really a discussion. I did not put Auburn in the bottom four, even though when you look at the most teams with consecutive losing records, Vanderbilt with 10, Nebraska with 7, California with 4. I think you'll recognize this next name. AUBURN. Auburn is at number 3, Colorado's at 3, Florida's at 3, Indiana's at 3, Stanford. So the bottom dwellers continue to be the bottom dwellers. That's one of the things that we're going to dive into. And today, you know, even I believe Coach Saban got out of there too. I don't think he was scheduled to be on Wednesday either. But, you know, you do think about what Coach Saban was able to do. And I got to thinking about this from a recruiting standpoint. I know there's been a lot of reaction. I must be honest with you. I did not see a lot of the Nick Saban analysis until I got back on the plane, got back to Tuscaloosa, kind of caught up on a lot of those videos. I did see some shared on social networks, but the value that he brings. Think about it this. When you've almost and I get it why other programs are going to be a little bit jealous, okay? Because Nick Saban is going to have exposure on a national platform. And when you see Nick Saban, I'm not talking about Alabama fans. Obviously, we think Alabama, University of Alabama. But think about a recruit in Rhode Island. A recruit in Rhode Island. Let's just pretend this guy's a 5-star. What do you guys want? Kicker, defensive line, punter, 5-star. He looks up from Rhode Island. He says, Nick Saban. What's the first thing that goes through your mind? 6 national titles, 9 SEC titles, and one of the greatest football coaches to ever walk the sidelines is on a platform on ESPN. That is a huge recruiting advantage for the University of Alabama. And before you get out there in the negative, allow me to talk. Kirk Herbstreit, is that advantage for Ohio State? You bet it is. Sure it is. Desmond Howard for University of Michigan? Yeah, sure it is. Absolutely. It's a brand, but I don't think we've ever seen anything like this, right? I mean, we know Lee Corso's ties way back when. You even say Reese Davis, but Reese Davis never declares, you know, on public television, or at least I have not seen, that he is a University of Alabama alum. I think people know that if you do a little bit of a research, but he doesn't go out here wearing the Alabama T-shirt like many of those that are on that sports desk. So Nick Saban does it. I think he calls it fair, but it's the exposure. It's the brand. It's the brand that puts you on ESPN College Game Day when you really have no TV experience. But he's going to be brilliant. He's going to be great at it. And that switch, like I said, it's kind of unique to see the switch, because we don't see that switch, right? We see it in a press conference, but on a media availability, you know, one-on-one, no, not that good. When you get up in that type of setting, press conference, there is a light switch that goes on for Nick Saban, and that's why he's one of the greatest. I mean, that light switch is there, and when he finds it. So we'll talk about you know, you look at the University of Alabama, I thought they made a big case. I thought they made some great comments. I learned a lot from Jalen Milroe, learned a ton. And even though we played the interview, we had media availabilities with both, right? We had media availabilities from sitting here talking with Tyler Booker about life and about recruiting. And one of the things that I guess made me think about it, these guys are not here just to win an average championship. They're not here just to win 10 games and be qualified for college football playoff inaugural year with 12 teams. They have their goal on Alabama winning a national title. And Tyler Booker kind of explained it. He said, well, you come to Alabama to do what? You win a national title. Well, many of us have not been able to do that. And he pointed at his teammate Malachi Moore. He said Malachi Moore's got one of those, but he's very few that's got one of those. Keon Sabb has it because he played at the University of Michigan. But from an Alabama perspective, you step back and you go, wow. That's kind of hard to kind of soak in, right? One championship in 6 years. We're going to discuss that. Like I said, we're going to take your phone calls. And Noah, if it's your permission today, we're going to have 2 guests. That's it. No, I mean, there's nobody unless, Coach Saban wants to come by and give us his analysis of SEC Media Days from a media perspective. There's no chance for anybody else to walk by. And when you're out in that event, and I know it's chaotic for you, and I appreciate your hard work because it is a little bit of a challenge. And Wyatt can tell you for his first experience SEC Media Days, you never know who's going to walk by. And like Roman Harper yesterday, I didn't even have a chance to work Roman in, but obviously he sees the word Tide 100.9, and I've known Roman. I covered Roman here as a player when I was part-time at the university with him and D'Amico and Freddie and all those guys. What a great defense. Anthony Madison, that 2005 defense was pretty stout. But he went on to have 10 years and won a Super Bowl, and so it's always fun to see him and see the success. But you never know who's going to pop in. So it's me, as you know, my favorite part of the show, and I tell people this often, is interacting with you. I love to be able to take phone calls because I think we have a really good, for one, chemistry, but I also think we have a good conversations. I think you guys bring things to me that many times I don't think about. So I think 30 opinions are better than one opinion. So we're no longer live in Dallas, Texas. That was shut down, and Radio Row will be complete ghost town. So that's the reason why we didn't stay out there today. Yesterday, even at the end of our show, we were watching radio stations pack up. So I think the veterans that have been there before, the ones that have not, decided to stay around. And I'm telling you, it will be an absolute ghost town by about 3:30. And because now coaches are done, there's nothing else to wait for. You're not waiting on another appointment. You're not waiting on this. You're not waiting on that. So we'll discuss that. We'll dive into it. We'll take your phone calls. Love to get you a part of the show at 205-342-9904. Aaron Torres is going to react from from a Fox Sports perspective. We'll talk about what Coach Saban was able to do. We'll do that. We'll discuss it. We'll take your phone calls, 205-342-9904. I'm just seeing this go across the screen. Kip Adams just broke a story. You guys ready for this? Georgia's having all types of problems. I mean, they're having some chaos over there. Georgia football staff member broke NCAA rules by gambling on sports. Wow. Georgia, you just cannot get out of your way. I mean, you got a great football team, but it doesn't seem like the attention to details there. This is according to the NCAA secondary violations summary posted by University of Georgia Athletics Compliance Department. A Georgia football staff member engaged in impermissible sports wagering in professional sports, violating the NCAA bylaw 10.3. Whoa. Go Georgia. Did you bet that Alabama's going to win? That'd be the bigger question. What if because if you're a dog, you're not taking Georgia over Alabama. I mean, you guys don't really have a lot of big track records, so I want to know where it was bet at. Did you take Alabama? Did you discuss Alabama? Did you take the Tide? Hey, I'm part of the team, but I think Alabama's going to win. It's kind of where I'm thinking. So we'll talk about, can you really believe that Alabama, yesterday I asked a lot of media members, Alex Scarborough, Nick Kelly, many other national guys, could Alabama win a national title? Could Alabama win a national title? I said, yeah, absolutely. Sure. We'll take your phone calls. We'll take yours. 205-342-9904. 205-342-9904. 205-342-9904. If you want to jump in, we'd love to have you. We'll take your phone calls. We'll talk to Aaron Torres coming up in just a couple of minutes. I do want to remind you about the great sponsors who took us to Dallas. We're appreciative of those guys. Bet you. Richard Adams, Adams Heating and Cooling. Adams Heating and Cooling. If you want a cold summer like the Alabama Crimson Tide, you need to find a good folks right there at Adams Heating and Cooling. DanielMooreArt.com. DanielMooreArt.com. The great gallery. Celebrate those special moments of Alabama Crimson Tide football. It is DanielMooreArt.com. DanielMooreArt.com. And also Title Towel. A rally towel with benefits. You can find it at the Bryant Museum. You can also find it at WhitwillSports.com. It's good for any special event. I see them all over campus, but the Bryant Museum is a place that I know here in Tuscaloosa. You can get them, but also get them at whitwillsports.com. A towel that lasts a lifetime. We'll take your phone calls. We'd love to hear from you. We'll do this but also your reaction to Coach Saban being on that stage. How valuable is that for the University of Alabama? We'll talk about it. We'll take your calls. 205-342-9904, always powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota. We'll take Greg in Athens, first caller after that. Tony Staccatos at 3. Alabama's Bryant-Denny Stadium getting a new name. Did you hear about it? You will. 3 o'clock. T-Town, Tide, 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Deal to 511-511.
Your order is backed with a 90-day guarantee.
All dogs are unique. Your dog results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
Now, this hour's West Alabama real-time news update from the Tuscaloosa Thread Newsroom.
A new Walmart neighborhood market is coming to Hillcrest off Highway 69 South after the Tuscaloosa City Council annexed and rezoned a parcel of undeveloped land on Tuesday. In the other direction, Sitar of India has announced plans to open a new drive-through and takeout express restaurant north of the Black Warrior River. And state and local police have issued a missing persons alert for a 19-year-old who was last seen before dawn on Thursday. For the details on these stories and more, get connected at TuscaloosaThread.com.
Get 24/7 local news coverage and sports updates when you download the free Tuscaloosa Thread app and sign up for twice daily email newsletters.
Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. Call Paul at 205-331-6823. Custom curbing for your home or business. Do away with those plastic individual stone borders. Go for that more permanent, decorative concrete border. No more grass growing between those individual stones. Cleaner to edge to maintain. They're willing to travel, not just here in Tuscaloosa, but also in our neighboring states as well over in Mississippi. Many colors and choices. They'll customize for that individual taste and house. Give them a call at 205-331-6823. You could also go to their Facebook account. Find their page. You can see exactly what the videos. They came out, did a free quote. Paul gave me an evaluation. Give them a call, 205-331-6823. Free quotes and evaluation. It is Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. Call Paul at 205-331-6823.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A hot afternoon. A few spots could see a shower or a thunderstorm through the evening hours. The high today 95, tonight's low 74. Tomorrow partially sunny. Again, the chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms by afternoon. The high 95. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9.
Light up those phone lines on the game with Ryan Fowler. 205-342-99.
We're taking phone calls. I did not realize that a few people were upset, and I've known this for a few weeks now. Not at liberty to say it. That's okay. It's somebody else's story, so I'm going to let them. They had it, so you kind of have to respect that. Okay. But I knew that this Saban Field was going to be named. Matter of fact, I think I told Noah that it was coming. So at some point it was going to be released. But it's one of those things that we talked about. I didn't realize you guys were so upset. Okay. We'll take your phone calls on it. And I get what you're talking about. Okay. Let me say that. I do. Nick Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. A lot of people wanted it to be just added, right? Bryant-Denny Saban Stadium or Bryant Saban Stadium. And if you just name the field after him, I mean, how many times do you go to a stadium and you don't have any clue? I'll give you across the state, right? Jordan, Jordan, not Jordan, okay? Michael Jordan, not Jordan, but just because those hillbillies can't say Jordan doesn't mean we don't have to follow suit. You can pronounce your name any way you want to. Well, okay. It's a very simple one. Can't hard a few that mess that up. But Jordan, it's Pat Dye Field at Jordan-Hare Stadium, the way those hillbillies call it. But anyway, do you think it is appropriate? Do you think it's appropriate? And we'll get an explanation. Tony Staccatos is the one that broke the story. We'll talk with him at 3 o'clock. We'll feature him right here to talk about it. Big story, big topic of conversation. Do you think it's fair? Do you like it? obviously, first come a couple out of the gate. No, we don't like it. No, we don't like it. Okay, I'll get your reaction. Maybe I'll get Aaron Torres' reaction. Aaron Torres, Fox Sports national analyst. Aaron Torres, how are you, my friend? Welcome into the game in Tuscaloosa.
Ryan, I'll say this. Every week you tell me, you pump me up. Oh, Torres, you move the needle like no one else in Tuscaloosa. None of our guests that we feature. You have a special connection with the audience, the Christmas Day parade. And I always think, you say that, but you feature a lot of national guests, and is it really true? Well, I've been doing a little bit of cyber stalking, I guess you would say, this week, and I will say, in the first segment of Monday's show, you had Courtney Morgan. I believe on Wednesday you had none other than Kalen DeBoer. Don't know who you had Tuesday, maybe Nick Saban. But the fact that I am, rubbing elbows now with Courtney Morgan and Kalen DeBoer in this leadoff spot, I really do feel special. I really do feel like, okay, maybe all these nice things that Ryan Fowler has been saying to me aren't just bold-faced lies. I love it.
Who skipped you this morning?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there was another station, first-year head coach in Texas in the SEC. No particular name.
You do every Thursday. And I told David this. I went up and I said, man, what did you do? You mean you rescheduled my boy Torres?
I know.
David. So,
I had to, I heard it was like Anchorman. You showed, like I said, you showed up with Drew DeArmond, and you guys were ready to throw down. And he showed up with Olin Buchanan, and all over Torres. That's whatever. But no,
I buried the axe with Ella Buchanan, and so I know Drew's still mad at him, but I'm not mad at him. I mean, I was okay. And for those who don't know, I got blasted because Olin thought I was Drew, and I had to explain that I was not. I mean, it was, and then freaking Drew just opened up an absolute can on a group message. I mean, and Drew, Drew tore a Texas fan up, so he doesn't hold anybody. I mean, he will rip you alive. So, Olin Buchanan and I talked down in Destin a couple of months ago, and we're okay. We're okay. So, I mean, all because I defended Nick Saban when Texas A&M was cheating on the NIL, and I took a beating, man. So that's okay.
Well,
that's part of this business.
I mean, I took a beating today because they wouldn't even have me on. They were so mad. They said, "You like Fowler more than us. We're not letting it." No, but. I get it. I mean, when you're at media days and you have access to some of the best, college football minds in America, right there, we get it. And I had the privilege to do your show live in Los Angeles before the Rose Bowl, so I understand the in-person stuff. But I also do appreciate you making some time in what is a busy week where you had access to all these great guests. But then, two, like I said, the leadoff spot has carried extra weight this week with Courtney Morgan and Kalen DeBoer. So I appreciate you plugging me in here.
Well, we also had Jalen Milroe on, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
On Tuesday?
Yesterday. We had. Oh, yeah. So Torres, we're not going to forget about you. Okay. I mean, you're our guy. You're our guy. So, all right, since you're part of the family. Not family like the friends from across the state. They butcher all kind of words, which I do as well. I mean, I cut a lot of words short, say things that are not really true, and all those good things. I'm just making fun of my brethren from across the state. But be honest with me. Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. You like it? Is it enough? Not enough? What do you think?
I don't know the politics behind it.
Okay, well, let me tell you who Denny is. You may need to know this.
I was going to say, I don't know if it makes me sound like an ignorant guy that doesn't really know college football. I actually don't know who Denny is. So
he was a president of university back in the 20s.
He's a bookworm. Name the library after him.
Well, there's already quite a few things like Denny Chimes. I mean, there's quite a few. I think there's even a building named after him as well. So he's got plenty of things.
Give him the physics department. Give Nick Saban. I don't really have any strong opinion on it. I don't know how, and I will say, like, Bryant-Denny it is an iconic
name
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it is synonymous with Alabama football. But I also understand an Alabama fan saying, Nick Saban's accomplishments match up with anybody's. his name should be on the stadium. So I don't really, I wasn't even aware this was a thing. Apparently, by the way, on SEC Network like an hour ago, somebody said that the Iron Bowl is not a national rivalry that anybody cares about.
Was it Sam Acho, or how you say his name? Yeah. He said, but you know what that is? I mean, you know what? He may have a point. The Iron Bowl has lost a lot of flavor because you've had 3 losing seasons over there. But he says on the network that the Iron Bowl no longer has national appeal.
Yeah, I don't agree with that, and I'll tell you really quick. I do think rivalries are, both teams have to live up to their end of the bargain for a rivalry to be a rivalry. It's funny, this was actually a big conversation with Michigan Ohio State. Is that before Michigan went on this 3-game win streak, people were like, "Is it still a rivalry?" Because Ohio State had won 12 out of 13 or whatever, but. It is certainly it's a national game with national appeal. I fundamentally disagree with that. Obviously, selfishly, you want Auburn to live up to its end of the bargain. I'll tell you, it's a lot like in college basketball where Louisville has been really bad for about 2-3 years. And, you could argue the hatred in that basketball game is as strong as any basketball rivalry in the country. But, the hatred went down there for a few years when Louisville was struggling. So I understand, I guess, the point that he's trying to make. But on the other side, I would also say that it is still a national rivalry with national appeal. You can't tell me that there weren't millions of people with no affiliation with Alabama or Auburn that weren't watching the iconic, 4th and 31 last year. So I don't buy that at all.
All right, so going back to the stadium, though, Torres.
Sure.
Any school across this country, pick them out. Pick one of the blue bloods, okay? Michigan. If Nick Saban goes there for 17 years and wins 6 national titles and 9 Big Ten titles like he did here at Alabama, would his name be put on the stadium?
I don't know. I mean, Ohio State is just Ohio. It's just like Ohio Stadium, right? I mean, it's not like Woody Hayes Stadium.
But I mean, Woody didn't win 6 national titles either.
The Big House isn't Schembechler Stadium, so. Ryan, I mean, listen, if you want me to say that the only way to properly honor Nick Saban's contributions to Alabama is to put his name on the stadium, that's fine. I just think, what I would say is that I don't – it's not really my fight. I know I'm supposed to come on here with big, strong opinions.
You're fine. This may be more of a local Alabama type
thing. Is there anybody arguing that it shouldn't be on the stadium, don't do it, or is it 99% you got to put his name on the stadium?
Well, I mean, we're a few minutes into the show. Sure. Ryan, I hope you ripped the universities blank for the lack of respect shown to Nick Saban and what he means to us. Ryan, please No, it's just listeners. And listen, the minute I said join in the conversation, I'm looking up at the call board, and there is a bunch of we have no lines available. So I'll let you know at 6:00 what the reaction is. But it doesn't look like they're in favor of this. Doesn't sound like it. But I mean, I do think it's a nice gesture. But I don't know for the field. But I don't feel that it's enough. I feel like there needs to be something else done.
And that seems fair to me too. I actually agree with that. Is it doesn't feel like it is quite enough.
Yeah,
I won't argue.
And so what do you need to do? There's a couple of numbers here that you can go, like we have 15th Street, we have 10th Avenue. I'd rename those Saban Boulevard, but that's probably more of a city, municipal kind of decision. But it does not, I mean, listen, and for those that make me think, okay, Torres, and I've been around here for a while. I've watched Alabama go through the dumps of bad football. Torres, this is not an overstatement. You ready for this?
Okay, lay it on me.
He saved the University of Alabama. We couldn't have hired one more bad coach. This thing was on a track record to you-know-where, and he saved the University of Alabama. And for that, we should be forever grateful in whatever we do to honor the man who saved this university.
Yeah, obviously I think certainly the profile of the university has increased exponentially due to, him as far as out-of-state applications and and this and that, all the stuff that we've taught. I mean, I've told you many times, the kid who runs our Torres on Bama account, he's an intern who does a great job, Drew. He is from the state of New York, and he attends the University of Alabama right now. And it's because of Nick. Let's be honest, it's because of Nick Saban. It's because of football. He's a huge sports fan, and they say sports is the front porch of a university. And there's nobody you want on that front porch representing your school quite like Nick Saban. So listen, like I said, I guess I just didn't have enough time to really wrap my head around this. And I don't know. I will say, knowing now that Denny was, I don't want to say just a school president, because I'm sure he was very accomplished in his day, but I'm not saying you got to bump it off, but could it be, like you said, Saban, Denny Stadium, Bryant, Saban, Denny Stadium? I mean, it's like a young lady gets married and she takes on her husband's last name. That third name isn't so hard. You get used to it after a while. Bryant, Denny, Saban Stadium. The only thing is it too many words and then it becomes like BDS Stadium? We start calling it BDS Stadium. I don't know.
Yeah, which we already do, BDS. Denny Stadium. So BDSS. I get it. But there is a lot of marketing things. Bryant-Denny Stadium is iconic. And maybe we'll hear more of an explanation in the coming days from the university. Maybe there'll be something that'll be released. But we got the writer that broke the story. Tony Sakawa's coming up here in about 30 minutes, so I'm sure we'll have a chance to react. But Torres, when you think about Alabama having Nick Saban on the ESPN College Game Day set on the SEC network, how big of a value is that from a recruiting standpoint?
How big of a value is that?
A value and advantage, because if I was another school, I'd probably be a little bit ticked, but it is what it is. He's the greatest football coach, and when you think Nick Saban, you don't think LSU, you don't think Miami Dolphins, you think about the University of Alabama.
I think Michigan State, no doubt. I don't know that it really. I think to the point of the last conversation, I think Nick Saban's contributions that have set up Kalen DeBoer to have this success, to me, is a much greater recruiting tool. And I think the other thing, too, and it doesn't sound like, now you have way better insight into the interactions between Coach DeBoer and Coach Saban since Coach DeBoer's gotten the job, but it doesn't feel like Kalen DeBoer has kind of used Nick Saban as a recruiting tool. But, I don't know that having him on game day really makes that much of a difference. If Kalen DeBoer goes 4-8 this year, which he's certainly not, I don't know that 5 stars are like, well, I really like that guy that was talking about Alabama. So, no, I think what Nick Saban's contribution to recruiting going forward is exactly what we just talked about. Is he made it the gold standard of college football. He's made it a place where, it's now a national recruiting. Listen, another thing that you would know better, but, I don't remember a ton. What do you got? 4 or 5 guys committed from California, the Carolina, wherever it is, Texas. I know the Ty Haywood kid is from Texas, and it's like those weren't things that were happening before Nick Saban got there. And so I know I'm rambling, but I'm just bringing it up to say I think the bigger contribution that Nick Saban has made has just been being the best college football coach in America for 15 years. And then, and I'll say this too. I was thinking about this is that. I just think it's cool that he's still going to be part of our lives as college football fans every week. Now, again, for recruiting, I don't know that it makes that big of an impact, but I think it's great that he is still going to be involved in the sport. And frankly, one last thought, because I know I'm rambling, but I really give him credit. I don't know how it impacted your audience on Monday when he picked Georgia and Texas to play for the SEC title, but I give him credit for going on there, having strong opinions, not being a homer, doing his homework. If you look at what he said about Texas and Georgia, he said, well, even if Ewers goes down, Arch Manning was 21-25 in the spring game. It's like, it's clear that he's doing his homework and he's putting the time into TV that he did into coaching, and I'm excited to see him on TV.
There was so many different people who doubted Kalen DeBoer. I think they have used this to their advantage. They've used it now. Since you and I last spoke, you know where Alabama is in the recruiting rankings?
They're shooting up the charts, and they were at number 2 when we last spoke. So
they're number 1. They are number 1 when you look at the University of Alabama in recruiting. There is no poll that I have seen as far as team rankings that they have them any lower than 2. They're not a unanimous one, but multiple publications now have Alabama as the number 1 recruiting class in the country. Those people who doubted Kalen DeBoer have a lot of egg on their face. Would you loan them a towel to wipe it off?
No, but what I will say is, first of all, Torres Media, we're selling those Don't Doubt DeBoer shirts. That's our newest T-shirt, AaronTorresOnline.com. Don't Doubt DeBoer, baby. But seriously, why we came up with the Don't Doubt...
I mean, can I get a little discount? I mean, I'd like to wear one of those. I mean, I think I'd be...
Dude, you could get one for free. If $3.99, we would be happy to send you one, Ryan, because I genuinely appreciate all of your support, and it's been fun fighting this Kalen DeBoer narrative with you. The Don't Doubt DeBoer, Triple D. That used to be Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Now it's Don't Doubt DeBoer. I just, it is funny, Ryan. I'll say this is that first of all, it was he'll never recruit like Saban. He's in over his head in the SEC. That was, he's just riding Nick Saban's coattails, whatever. And then, of course, it's the typical, they were able to raise money because he's a new coach and it's all NIL and you can't do this forever. It's like, at what point do you just acknowledge that this guy came in with a plan? And basically everything that I have said, Ryan, everything that I've said he came in with a plan. You don't take a job like Alabama and wing it. You come in with a plan. You come in with a method of attack. And I'll take it a step further. I didn't get to listen to all of your Courtney Morgan interview, but I listened to a lot of it. And I thought there were some interesting insights in there, specifically where Courtney Morgan said every single person, and I think he was talking about the recruiting staff specifically, but he said every single person is on the staff intentionally. Everybody else has a different strength and a different weakness. And then I think the other thing that stood out from the Courtney Morgan interview that you did on Monday was that he said that this really stood out to me. He said, we treat every visit like we might never be able to get this kid back to campus again. And that really struck me. It's the oldest saying that our parents used to tell us, but it was you only get one chance to make a first impression. And I just bring it up because it's so obvious that this guy has everything thought through. And to be clear, doesn't mean there's not other good recruiters. Kirby Smart's great. Steve Sarkisian's great, whatever. Fill in the blank. But the idea that this guy, as smart as he is, as successful as he's been at every stop, wasn't going to be successful is laughable. And as I said, don't doubt DeBoer because you're going to look silly. I know you said something very similar on your show a few weeks ago. But we have a very limited supply of those Don't Doubt DeBoer T-shirts at AaronTorresOnline.com/merch.
Save me one. I'd like to have a large.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, seriously.
You're trimming down now.
Yeah, and I told DeBoer yesterday, I said, you look like you've trimmed down some too since being in Tuscaloosa. That heat is getting to you a little bit. Sweat, he even mentioned that in the thing, but he does. He looks like he's lost a few good pounds, I guess.
Real quick, do I have a second to ask you a question?
Listen, don't ignore the music.
Okay. Yeah, I know Noah's mad at you, but it's okay.
He just shot me another bird.
It's okay. Now, how are you enjoying the media access that you have? And I'm not saying you have anything special. Like I read the Ross Dellinger piece where Kalen DeBoer came in a day early to make sure that he had, he did all the interviews that he needed to do and then some. And I just think, again, we've talked about this. We both love and immensely respect Coach Saban, and obviously that's where this conversation started. But the word that I keep coming back to with Kalen DeBoer is kind of quote-unquote new age. He just seems to do things differently because it's a different world than it was in 2006, 2007 when Nick Saban came. And I just think it's got to be cool for you to be able to pick his brain on the offense, the defense, the special teams, pick an assistant coach's brain, whatever. It just seems really cool. And to be clear, again, I'm not saying you're getting any special treatment. I'm just saying the guy flew in a day early to make sure he met all his media requirements. I thought that was really cool to read.
Yeah, and I'm going to be nice. I think Ross Dellinger's wrong on that article.
Well, okay, well.
Yeah, he came in. I mean, I can tell you what time he landed if you'd like, but I'm not.
That's the kind of access he has to, baby.
Yeah. He didn't. He got in. He did fly commercial.
Let's work on that narrative, though. I mean, the guy just clearly gets that.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And so, but he. Let me say he was out in California. And he didn't want the university to go out with a private jet to go get him and come back to Dallas. He wanted to use the private jet to get the players to Dallas. He didn't want them to fly commercial. So he took one for the team and just jumped on a commercial jet. And I'll tell you this, he took a commercial right back to L.A. to watch softball with his daughter.
That's great.
I mean,
because he's and that speaks that speaks to the man that he is, the father that he is. But I just think it's so new age of him, because again, I'm not saying I hope I'm being clear. I'm not saying you're getting any special treatment, because I know you're not. But just seeing all of the people that were able to get a minute with him, 5 minutes with him, 10 minutes with him yesterday, I just thought was really cool. And
he spent 2 hours. He did. He got there like early. He started his rotation he got there like 2 hours early to start Radio Row.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. So, and he did do that. I mean, that was he did. I mean, he got there 2 hours early to start Radio Row before it ever started. And he had to catch a flight right after, so he didn't do anything afterwards. He finished up his rotation and then he was gone. So, but it's. Let me say this: there's two different ways to skin a cat. Obviously, Nick Saban's system worked, but this one's fun. Noah said I got to go to break. Torres at Aaron _Torres at Aaron _Torres. Next time you're coming to media days with me, and Noah's not kicking you off.
There you go.
Because he won't have control. Because we're going to be out there, and he's going to be back here. Torres, I appreciate
Atlanta.
you, man.
See you next year, buddy. Thank you. RTR, roll, Torres, roll.
Roll,
don't doubt the board.
Torres. Don't doubt the board. Don't doubt the board. Doubt the board. You look stupid tomorrow. We'll continue with more of the phone calls. Noah's mad at me. No, I'm bad. I'm sorry. First day back. You already 15 minutes of the show, you're already having to shoot me birds, man. I'm sorry. My bad. You forgive me? If you'll just go to break. We'll go to break. Greg in Athens. Tom in Tuscaloosa. Jeremy, I'll see you guys next. T-Town Tide 100.9. The home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
We pride ourselves in having what our customers need and having the customer service you've come to expect.
North Ford Auto Supply. Why go anywhere else?
Our coverage of SEC Media Days this week is presented by BetU. What is it? It's Alabama's first and only legal app allowing you to directly bet against your friends. No bookie eliminates the middleman, which means no house, no juice, no fees, direct betting head-to-head or with a group. More fun, social betting experience. Very easy with Apple Pay, debit, credit cards. No collection. It's automatic. And you can find it in Alabama, the great state of Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Louisiana, Texas. Why is it legal? Peer-to-peer betting legal because there is no house taking bets, only bets between your friends. It is a social network app, and it is a free download. You can find it for your iOS and coming very, very soon for Android users. It is BetU. Do a search for it, download it, and we're going to be giving away some great things courtesy of BetU.
Want to know what's going on with the Crimson Tide? Download the Tide 100.9 app today.
Tony Tsoukalos is going to join us coming up in about 20 minutes. We'll get a little bit of an explanation, but it also gives me a little bit of a sample size and some of the questions that you want to know. Greg in Athens, you're first up as we continue SEC Media Day coverage. I have submitted my vote, and forget about the top four thing. It's not going to be the topic conversation. I mean, the worst thing you can do in radio is try to force a topic somebody don't want to talk about. So let's talk about this Nick Saban at Bryant-Denny Stadium. You like it, disagree with it, you think it's enough? Greg in Athens, you start us out. I hope all is well.
Good afternoon, Ryan, and I'm glad you made it back. I believe you said you're back in Tuscaloosa.
We are. Yes, I got back I pulled back in about 2 a.m. This morning, so it was late. It was, I'd say 2 a.m., probably 1:30. I had to stop and get some gas. Had to stop just a quick bathroom stop coming out of the airport. But after about halfway down. So
when I heard the news earlier that they were considering naming the field after him, I always thought that when he retired, they would take Denny off of Bryant-Denny Stadium because, as you said, there are so many other things named after Denny that they would call it, Bryant-Saban Stadium, since those are the two
Well, and Alabama is such a blessed with tradition. We really are, right? We're blessed with a rich tradition. It's like College Football Hall of Fame. You can go be a good player at a bad university and you get nominated for the College Football Hall of Fame. In Alabama, you got to kind of wait your turn. If you were at another university and you won 6 national titles and 9 conference titles, we wouldn't even be having this debate.
Yeah, I just think, as far as them naming the field after them, it doesn't move me one way or the other. I think they will probably do more down the road. So if people are going to be uptight because they don't think this is enough, I will wait to see how that fleshes itself out before we make judgment on that. But, Nick's done so much not only for the school, but for the community there that no matter what we did for him, it would never be enough.
It would not be.
And, and so I think that Coach Saban knows fully well that he is loved and treasured by the community and the fans. And, he's never been one, for those kind of accolades. But it was really nice seeing him, not going this year. I stayed home and watched a lot of the coverage. And it was nice seeing him on there as an analyst who not only had opinions but facts. And, I was, before you came on, I was watching the broadcast on the FCC network, and Cole Kublik was having to explain to Sam Acho why the Iron Bowl is the most rabid and intense rivalry of all time.
But to be fair to Sam, okay, it has lost a little bit of luster. I'm not saying it means less. Well, in a way I am. It has, because Auburn has not really carried their weight in this entire conversation. They've been kind of down, right? They've kind of get their head kicked in.
But I think if you look at it from a historical standpoint, there's no comparison. Between that and the Red River rivalry, or R cubed, as I call it, it's different, and then of course the Barnes coach was on there this afternoon, and
what do you say? Anything good?
Well, he's really impressed with Peyton Thorne, and look, I had a conversation on Twitter with a friend of mine who's an Auburn fan, and after year one, if Joe Burrow goes out for the draft in year one after his first year there at LSU, he's not going to sniff a cup of coffee in the NFL. But he had a massive transformation. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen or that that's even possible for Peyton Thorne. I just think, sometimes, Ryan, when people tell you that they're a jerk, right? And you just have to believe them. And I think that the body of work that Peyton Thorne has had in his career, what you saw is what you see. I mean, that's what he is. Now, if the O-line's better and the receivers are better, could that help? Of course. But I don't see a Joe Burrow-type transformation coming out of him. And here's the other thing. The last time that Auburn had a quarterback that you could say was in any way measurable better from his first year to his second year or his final year was back in 2014. And I forgot, his name just left me, but they don't develop quarterbacks. They really never have. The best quarterback they've ever had was a one-year rental in the bad guy that came out of Florida. So I just think that getting back to more important things about Nick Saban, I'm sure they'll do some other things, and but once again, I just don't think it's kind of like trying to buy a present from your mother who's got everything already. What do you get her? How do you express your gratitude? And I thought that Coach Saban really enjoyed this week what he was doing. Multiple coaches expressed their gratitude to him in their speeches for taking a chance on them. And, if Nick Saban had his druthers, he'd have had Hugh Freeze there as an OC a few years back.
Yep.
And, of course, that the kibosh was put on that by Commissioner Sankey. But, look, as a Christian, you're when someone asks for forgiveness, you have to forgive them. Does that mean that they occupy a place of trust in your life anymore? No, it does not. All right? And, if Jeffrey Dahmer asked for forgiveness, I heard he was baptized in prison before he was killed and all that, then I'm not willing to judge him. I just don't want him working around people.
Hey, Greg, thank you for your phone call, man. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Appreciate you as always.
You as well. Roll Tide.
Right back to you. Roll Tide. Tom, Tuscaloosa. Tom, good afternoon. You're in the game. I hope all is well.
Doing well, Ryan. I'm sorry I haven't called lately. I've been pretty busy.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to see your name pop up on the screen, man. I hope all is well with you.
Yeah, everything's fine. But I had to come say a few things about the naming Saban Field. I like that gesture, and I agree with what Greg was just saying that we need to have a little patience. They may do some other things. I just don't want people to. And I think we just tend to look at things in the past few years. Our memories are short. We don't look at history as well as we should. And I'm concerned that, Denny hasn't done anything wrong. Why take his name off the stadium? Denny did a lot of really good things. And it wasn't just for and Torres did the right thing. He's like, I need to stay out of that. He doesn't know. But Denny did a lot for this campus. And whenever you talked about, y'all mentioned something about how many more out-of-state students we have, things like that. Well, where'd they get that from? That's what Denny did. He popularized football. He saw the value in that. He hired Wallace Wade. And when Wallace Wade left...
call it Denny Field.
He hired
Bryant Saban Stadium.
Yeah. I don't mind.
But, Denny's already got so many different things. At some point...
No, he doesn't. He really doesn't. There's not that many things named for Denny. Denny Chimes.
I think there's a building, too, that's named after him, too.
What building?
I don't know. I'm saying I think.
So, I just don't...
the guy, it's been 100 years.
30, they brought him back because President Foster died. His successor died. They brought him back. He was very popular. He made us the modern university we are. There are a lot of really big things he did. Now, I'm speaking of this not just because I, just read something. I was a historian at the university. This was my job. Denny was very important. And when you talk about how this football program may have been dead if we picked the wrong coach and all, what happened when the Depression happened? Denny got us through it. We had no money then. This university had no money then. The state didn't support us. It never has really that well. Denny did a lot. You hire Wallace Wade, and we go to the Rose Bowl. We become a big deal. The whole South gets a benefit from us going to the Rose Bowl.
That's true. Southern football got respect because of the University of Alabama, Tom.
Yeah. And Denny was the man behind starting all that. And I just think people don't quite realize, because they don't know, it's just, they weren't born. Yeah, I wasn't around when Denny was around either. I'm not quite that old. It's, what's going to happen when, let's say DeBoer has great success. So are you going to take Bryant's name off the stadium? Just say Saban DeBoer Stadium? Or do you think that Nick Saban would want Denny's name kicked off of the stadium? I don't think he would. I think there's just other ways to honor him. I mean, I'm not dismissing Saban at all. I'm just saying.
Well, and I guess maybe
Alabama,
when you think about it,
this is not our first coach that's won the national championship. We've won a lot of national championships.
Well, okay, but your same argument, you can go back and criticize Coach Bryant in 1997 when we added Bryant to the stadium.
Yeah, we added it. We
okay, well then add Saban.
Don't take it off. I'd be okay with it. I'm just saying don't take Denny off. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, and you know what? I stand corrected. There's not a house. For some reason, I thought there was a Denny house that was named. Maybe it's been torn down, but was there not a Denny house there or Denny Hall or something? Okay.
No.
Okay, well, you would know because you said you were a historian at the university. So Denny Jones.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I just don't feel like that we're. I just don't want us to miss the point of Saban got here because, Saban wouldn't have got here if it wasn't for Bryant. If Bryant hadn't done that well, what happens if?
Well, and the other part is maybe we're emotionally tied because Tom, Alabama was headed for the dumpster fire. We were already there.
Yes.
And Nick Saban saved this university. I don't care what anybody says. I'm telling you, I lived it. I was doing radio in this town. Nick Saban saved the University of Alabama and we should be forever grateful. Like I said, it feels like I like the gesture, but I just don't feel like it's enough. And we're going to talk with Tony Sakawas coming up in about 3 minutes, and we'll get more details on this and really dive into maybe where all this came about. Man, I got to run, Tom. I appreciate you so much, man.
Okay, Ryan. Have a good day.
DCH, great things are happening at DCH Hospital. DCH Hospital, 90 years, the Regional Medical Center on University Boulevard, also Northport, Fayette. Cancer Center, trauma services, surgical services, women's services. It is DCH Health System. We'll continue with more of the game. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama. Crimson Tide Sports.
WTBC Tuscaloosa and W265CG Tuscaloosa, a Town Square media station. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Nick Cope.
First round of the Open Championship from Royal Troon is in progress. Shane Lowry holds the solo lead at 4 under. He's still on the course. Justin Thomas in the clubhouse. He is at 3 under. Brooks Koepka and Xander Schauffele are part of a large group at 2 under. Other players still on course. You got Tiger Woods, who's at 6 over. Scotty Scheffler is 1 under. And a couple notable names really struggled today. U.S. Open winner Bryson DeChambeau finished 5 over, and Rory McIlroy finished at 7 over. And the NFL receiver Devontae Adams told Shannon Sharp he's locked in with the Raiders and not seeking a trade out of Vegas amid rumors of him wanting out. 2025 MLB schedule has been released in full. Dodgers and Cubs will open the season in Tokyo in mid-March, with opening day for the rest of baseball on March 27th.
The Pharmacy at Midtown with TJ Thomas, 205-752-0627. PharmacyMidtown.com. Don't forget about the retail side of the Pharmacy at Midtown. It's an independent-owned pharmacy specializing in walk-in prescriptions, medicine on time packaging, which increases that independence. Compounding needs. The only sterile compounding facility in Tuscaloosa is the Pharmacy at Midtown with TJ.
30 miles. And if they don't have what you need, they'll get it. Cypress Supply, 2036 62nd Avenue, Tuscaloosa. Cypress-supply.com.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A hot afternoon. A few spots could see a shower or a thunderstorm through the evening hours. The high today 95, tonight's low 74. Tomorrow partially sunny. Again, the chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms by afternoon. The high 95. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9.
Any way you want it, it's the way you need it. Any way you want it. She loves to laugh, she loves to sing, she does everything. She loves to move, she loves to groove, she loves to love and things. All night, oh, every night. So
streaming right back into the game here in Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. We are always powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota. TuscaloosaToyota.com, 3325 Skyline Boulevard, and online at TuscaloosaToyota.com. If you're looking for a Camry, Corolla, Highlander, you can find those. Pre-owned inventory, Tundra, Tacoma, two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive. You know, a great-looking 4Runner. You know, every time they post one of those new photos, and I know that 2025 will be a redesign, my wife will send me a couple of links because she has got her mind on it, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to win that debate. We do have a 4Runner, but it's a couple of years old, but the new ones are pretty sharp, and you can see them at Tuscaloosa Toyota, TuscaloosaToyota.com. The great inventory that's arriving daily with David DeSantis. We're always our SEC Media Day coverage presented by BetU. Title Towel, appreciate those guys. WhitwillSports.com. Adams Heating and Cooling. Richard Adams, if you want to have a cold summer like the University of Alabama, Richard Adams, Adams Heating and Cooling. Richard Adams, Adams Heating and Cooling. And also our good friends right there at DanielMooreArt.com. We appreciate our SEC Media Day coverage. Earlier this morning, Tide Illustrated was a very hopping and popping place, as it always is. Tony Tsoukalos broke a major story. Nick Saban's legendary status at the University of Alabama will reach a new level this fall. Tide Illustrated has learned that Alabama is set to dedicate the field inside Bryant-Denny Stadium, the former head coach, during a ceremony on September the 7th. That'll be the South Florida game. They will rename the playing surface, now expected to be referred to as Nick Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Let's react to that. Phone lines literally all jammed up. Twitter's buzzing, apps buzzing. Tony Tsoukalos, Rivals.com, Tide Illustrated. Tony, I hope all is well, my friend. Welcome into the game in Tuscaloosa.
Hey, Ryan. How's it going?
I'm good. I'm just curious, and I've not logged on to your message board, but what has been the reaction to this story? First off, let's get the story and talk about it. How did this come about? Give me some kind of background if you can.
Yeah, I don't think that this is too much of a surprise from everyone. I think, it just makes sense to dedicate something to Nick Saban. I know, you asked what, the fans on our message board are saying. I would say the majority of Alabama fans in general, I think, are calling. I think a lot of people wanted it to be maybe a step further. Maybe it be a Bryant Saban field, or a Bryant Saban Stadium. I don't think that was ever really going to happen. So I think it's a good gesture for the university to recognize Nick Saban and to have a Nick Saban field. I think that that's almost expected. It's something that, actually us at Tide Illustrated, we've known this for a while. Out of respect to Nick Saban, we kind of wanted to let it be closer to the time when it was going to break, for the university so that they could kind of control how it was released. But it's something that I've been kind of trying to hold on to for a little bit, but it's I think in the grand scheme of things, Ryan, I think it's pretty expected in terms of they were going to do something like this for Nick Saban.
Well, and we just we're kind of balanced right now, but there's getting a lot of comments on the app and also on our Facebook account. Kind of very similar to what you said. We just had someone who called in and said they were historian at the University of Alabama, and they talked about how Denny was significant. And I said, well, the counter with that is they added Bryant in 1997. I mean, would it sound good? I mean, is it too wordy to go Bryant, Saban, Denny Stadium, or however you want to put those words? I mean, is it too much just to add up there to the name, in your opinion?
So what happens, I ask, it does become like a word soup after a while, right? I mean, and then what happens in 20 years if, Kalen DeBoer wins 5 titles? Does it then become, Bryant, Denny, DeBoer, Saban? Are we just doing it in alphabetical order, or are we just going to start listing every single coach that's won?
Hey, I mean, are you telling me Kalen DeBoer is going to win 6 national titles, Tony? Is that what you're doing? I mean, you going out on a limb?
I mean, maybe, right? I mean, look at this recruiting class he's building. I mean, he's on his way to a future one if things go right. So,
DeBoer, Saban, Bryant, Denny, Stadium. Okay. Yeah, I mean, got a little ring to it.
Might as well throw Byrne in there, too. I mean, at that point, if he's still around.
Nate Oates keeps winning games. Might put him up there, too.
On the football stadium?
Well, I'm just throwing out stuff at this point. So I'm sorry. I'm hijacking your comment. But it feels like that there needs to be more. And I guess that may be where Alabama fans are at. It needs to be more. Okay, that's fine. Do this nice gesture. What else are you going to do?
I mean, you built the man a statue outside the stadium as well.
Well, yeah, but I mean, so does all the other coaches.
Are so unhappy about this. I don't think this is slighting Nick Saban. I don't actually think it's I'm one of these things that people just can't be happy about something. They can't be excited about something because I don't really see the negative of this. There's plenty of stadiums that it's not like a rule in athletics that you have to name your stadium after your most successful coach. You know, I mean, like it's just the time era that things happen.
Heck, I mean, you could rename the city Sabanville for all I care.
Yeah, I mean, like just make it Saban, Saban University in Tuscaloosa. I mean, like
well, and
there's a million things.
Here is the counter, and I'll make this argument. Okay, this university was spinning at a rapid pace to where. I mean, the NCAA had hit them. There was many people who they won't admit to you now, Tony. There was people that said the university will never come back. I mean, Steve Spurrier in Malmore's book looked at Coach Malmore and said, "I'm sorry, I can't accept this job because I don't think I can get Alabama back to where you're wanting it to be." I think that ship's kind of sailed. He saved the University of Alabama from an image standpoint. I think that we are forever grateful, but these newer fans that have just kind of jumped on board don't really understand that this university was pretty tarnished in the early 2000s.
No, I mean, I get that. And I get, I'm not trying to argue that Nick Saban's place in this university isn't even higher than, other people. I think he's probably the biggest thing that's happened to this program. But, I mean, the stadium's been the stadium. And it's one thing to add Bryant to it. Then if you're I guess what I have a problem with if you're going to change the name of the stadium is just removing Denny Stadium. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that's what the popular consensus is, that you would make it Bryant Saban Stadium and then get rid of Denny. It's just I don't know. I mean, I guess you could do that, but then I think you're opening up a can of worms to keep on doing that. You really can't have three names. And if you do that, then what happens the next time you have a monumental coach? And, do I expect anyone to reach Nick Saban's level? No, but did you expect anyone to reach, Bear Bryant's level? I don't think a lot of people expected that either, and it happened. So, and I doubt that Nick Saban is upset with this. I'm sure he was involved in this.
I mean, for all we know, he could have been reserved and said, "Guys, I don't want all this."
Exactly. To be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. I wouldn't shock me if he's like, well, let's just let's name the field inside.
Yeah. I mean, it's
the question, Ryan, is what do you do now when DeBoer wins his sixth title at Alabama? And what do you
close University Boulevard and expand to Walk of Champions all the way to the river?
That's what it has to be. No, there you go. You name it's the DeBoer Walk of Champions leading to the Saban Field inside of Bryant-Denny Stadium. That's your,
well,
there you go.
And I guess, okay, but in my mind, okay, and I know that Coach Bryant was legendary here. He won 6 national titles. So did Coach Saban. Coach Saban won them in less. He won them in 25 years. He was a player here. I get all that. But, I mean, look at how many things are named after Bryant on campus. Tons. I mean, tons.
And I think that there should be more Saban things around campus. I think that I don't think that, you don't name things after him. I think that, I think that there's plenty of, opportunities, We wanted to, rename Burley B. Wallace to Nick Saban Drive or whatever, or Nick Saban Parkway or whatever. Fine. Jack Warner Parkway.
Well, I want it out on the interstate somehow because I want these SEC fans to drive by, and when they see it, they strike fear in their heart. Where they just drive by on 2059 wherever they're going to Mississippi or going to Atlanta, either way, and I want them to see it up there. So maybe we rename 359 Road.
What about, can you just name part of 2059?
Yeah. Saban.
The Saban era?
Yeah.
Can you make a sketch of it?
Yeah.
Saban?
Yeah, and play Yay Alabama when on the interstate so loud that you hear it as you're driving down the road.
No, what I don't understand, the biggest missed opportunity this city has ever had is when they built that little red bridge, over McFarland. How is there not a grooved, thing in the pavement that when you drive over it, it plays Yay Alabama? You know what I'm talking about? They have that in some things where if you drive over it, all it would have to do is bump, bump, ba-dum, bum, as you drove over. That would be the most outlet, it could probably still happen. I mean, Tuscaloosa loves construction. So anytime, any chance they have to shut down a major highway, they love it. So this is their opportunity to add something, shut down that highway for a week and add some I think that needs to.
But don't get me started on political, folks, because when you go up and down the university, on 2059, there used to be a giant sign that said "Home of the University of Alabama." It's one of those green government signs, exit here, whatever. It used to be big. They took it down for a long time. I think they put a smaller one back up, but it was it was an A. It was the A, and it said the University of Alabama next 3 exits or whatever. Now they put up a sign, but it's much smaller than the original sign. So I don't know if the political leaders, they're probably offended a little bit. But, and that's another thing. I mean, I know it takes the municipal side of things to get streets named after you. 10th Avenue would be another one, rolling right into Bryant-Denny Stadium. Saban Boulevard.
Sure. Yeah, no, I like that too. Yeah, that would be a great – I think there's probably room for that. I'm sure that will happen. There's going to be a lot more Saban – named thing. So
okay, all right. You're settling us down. You're bringing calm to the water.
It's the end of it.
Okay,
yeah. But I think when it comes to the stadium, there's only so many times you can change the name, and if you change it now, then how are you going to change it later? If you have someone, unless you're just going to keep on making it a revolving door of name changes.
But you bring up another really good point, Tony, because you look at the city. As much as Alabama fans are indebted to Nick Saban, the city should be indebted to Nick Saban. I mean, he changed. I mean, the enrollment here, I know that's a big part with President Witt, but without Nick Saban, they don't ever get to 40,000 people. You got to house 20,000 additional students, new construction, new buildings. I mean, he changed the landscape of the entire city. I mean, the city should bend over backwards and say, you pick the street. We're going to name a street after you pick it because he brought economic.
I think that will happen. I think eventually that will happen. I'd be surprised, and I think there should be outrage if, for whatever reason, they don't want to name something after him. Just with, what he's meant to this city. I think that I'm down for that.
All right. Great breaking news there around Tony Tsoukalos, Rivals.com, Tide Illustrated. He's the managing editor, one of the beat reporters covering the University of Alabama. Tony, let me, do I hear music, Toa? Do I hear music? Okay. Noah's trying to get me to break, but let me ask you this real quick. What was your big takeaway from yesterday's Alabama availability out in Dallas?
Yeah, I don't know if anything. I was kind of, to be honest with you, I was kind of surprised there wasn't more on maybe Parker Brailsford or Caden Proctor. I was kind of looking, they didn't send me this year, so I can't really talk because I wasn't there to, ask these questions myself. But I was kind of hoping to get, a little bit more updates on both of those two guys. But, I thought Kalen DeVore handled himself pretty well. I thought he was good. I thought that the players represented themselves really well. Tyler Booker is just a media all-star. He's a great guy. But I think Alabama came away looking really good. I think they came away the whole week looking really, really good in terms of, just with Nick Saban. I think he did a good job as well. So, I was, I thought it was a really positive week for Alabama and kind of set them up nicely and created some nice momentum heading into going to be the start of the preseason and at the end of the month.
I mean, we're here. We are here. Enjoy one more week of a little bit of slow time, and then it will be all hands on deck at Tide Illustrated, Rivals.com, as well as right here and many others that will cover the University of Alabama. So, Tony, enjoy your last couple of days. Take a deep breath. Find you a beach somewhere. Find a little bit of a, recharge your batteries, and let's get ready for this college football season, man. I appreciate you as always.
Yeah, it sounds great, Ryan.
Thank you. Thank you, Tony. Great job on the article, Rivals.com, Tide Illustrated, Tony Tsoukalos breaking the story that Nick Saban field at Bryant-Denny Stadium will be the new name. You like it? Dislike it? We don't have any more guests. We're done with guests for today. Jeremy, get ready. We're coming your way in 2 minutes in T-Town. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
$5. Let's get your favorite Good and Gather snacks. They're now at a new lower price.
Best team ever. When it comes to low prices, Target has your back to school.
DanielMooreArt.com. Daniel Moore Art celebrates those special moments of Alabama football history like 4th and 31, Jalen Milroe connected with Isaiah Bond, or the legacy continues with all the great memories of Alabama Crimson Tide football. You can celebrate Coach Saban with a Nick Saban print, the limited edition canvas. You could also find many of the great mini prints. Celebrate that special Alabama fan in your life. DanielMooreArt.com. The Game. That's the code word for a significant discount. And when you check out, tell them that you heard about it right here on The Game. DanielMooreArt.com.
Now, this hour's West Alabama real-time news update from the Tuscaloosa Thread Newsroom.
A new Walmart neighborhood market is coming to Hillcrest off Highway 69 South after the Tuscaloosa City Council annexed and rezoned a parcel of undeveloped land on Tuesday. In the other direction, Sitar of India has announced plans to open a new drive-through and takeout express restaurant north of the Black Warrior River. And state and local police have issued a missing persons alert for a 19-year-old who was last seen before dawn on Thursday. For the details on these stories and more, get connected at TuscaloosaThread.com.
Get 24/7 local news coverage and sports updates when you download the free Tuscaloosa Thread app and sign up for twice daily email newsletters.
Pastor's Kitchen Mexican food right there in Northport. If you're looking for the great specials daily, the fajitas are outstanding. The Pastor's dip, the appetizers, the fried ice cream, always a great option. It is Pastor's Kitchen Mexican food. Also find the food truck, and we are also now serving breakfast at Pastor's Kitchen Mexican food. Stop by the McFarland Boulevard location. You can also find him in Northside, Pastor's Kitchen Mexican food with Pastor Garcia.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A hot afternoon. A few spots could see a shower or thunderstorm through the evening hours. The high today 95, tonight's low 74. Tomorrow partially sunny. Again, the chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms by afternoon. The high 95. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9.
Alabama fans are all over the world, and we are too. Download the Tide 100.9 app right now in the App Store and Google Play, and take the Crimson Tide everywhere you go.
Jesse is a friend. Yeah, I know he's been a good friend. Jesse's girl. I wish that I had Jesse's girl. Where can I find her?
SEC Media Days, day number 4. Tomorrow will be the release. We're going to continue our sponsorship courtesy of BetU, Adams Heating and Cooling, Title Towel, WhitwillSports.com, WhitwillSports.com. Greatly appreciate them for getting us out there. DanielMooreArt.com. I also remind you about Nuke's Eatery. If you're looking for a great sandwich, let me invite you to Nuke's Eatery, 205 University Boulevard, 205-758-2455. If you're looking for that Nuke's Q sandwich, which is the #1 sandwich across the franchise with that wonderful white barbecue sauce. If you're looking for a French dip sandwich, if you're thinking about a salad, if you're thinking about a California style pizza, if you're thinking about catering, Nuke's Eatery always. Joel Bromfield, man, those guys, they nail it all the time. And that's probably one of the stops. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to go home and grab a sandwich. I want to go hear Elon Musk talk later today. Anytime you can listen to a billionaire and possibly one of the world's greatest men think about the economic values and, like to hear his kind of think about it and think about the impact that he made on, no one say free speech because I'm not in that club, but opening up where you're not censored as much. How about that? You gotta credit Elon Musk, right? Fair enough. And we're not censoring anybody today. We're wanting you to jump in and share your opinions. We welcome your opinions. Disagree, agree. That's okay. We can have a fun and good dialogue. Let's continue. Paul in Lincoln. Paul, good afternoon. You're in the game. I hope all is well.
Ryan, hey, Bugs, embrace your suck because you absolutely, positively do suck. And let me spell that suck for you, Bugs. That's SAUCK.
surprised that Auburn is in the top 5 in the most consecutive losing seasons currently? I mean, that's pretty big.
Ryan,
you got Vanderbilt, Nebraska, California, and Auburn. Actually, they're 4th in the country in the most consecutive
Ryan,
losing seasons.
That's what happens, Ryan, when your program is flatlined. Okay.
And New Mexico State one still hurts, doesn't it?
Oh, I loved it. I really loved it. Ryan, that's what happens when you're irrelevant. And that's exactly what they are. They're an irrelevant program. Listen, they're swimming in the lake with the big fish, okay? You've had 2 big fish join the lake this season. And they're just part of the bait, okay? They're just part of the shad, okay? They have been gobbled up, because that's what little fish. That's what happens to little fish in a big pond of big fish, okay? So let's just get that straight. I hadn't said this in a while, I feel the urge to say it, Ryan. Ryan, what do you do when you see a bug?
You kick them.
You kick them. And when you kick them to the ground, Ryan, what do you do then?
Well, I was going to follow that up and say you go to the Wharf, which is one of our great sponsors. You walk in, you ask Mark and Lee to give you steel-toed boots, okay? They got steel-toed boots for all those working people here in West Alabama. They got regular boots as well. Justin, Tony Lama, Red Wing, Georgia, Double H, Timberline, Laredo, and many more. But you go in and you say, Mark and Lee, I want the hardest steel-toed boot you've got. And then you come out and you rear back and you kick them where it hurts.
You kick them. You kick them. Wherever it hurts the most, Ryan, you kick them. And you kick them, and you kick them. You don't let them up, Ryan. And when they think finally you're through kicking them, you lean in. They think you're going to offer them a hand up. You just lean in and say, embrace your suck. And then you walk off.
But Peyton Thorne is going to lead them to the big time, baby. Peyton Thorne, he's coming back, man. Peyton Manning, you ain't got anything on Peyton Thorne.
Listen, can I tell the Bugs something else, Ryan? Ryan, Bugs, the last time Hugh Hefner, Hunter Harsin Freeze beat the University of Alabama, we're talking about a decade ago, okay? A decade ago. And that's the only reason you hired this clown. That's it. That's it. The only reason you hired this clown is because he beat Alabama 2 consecutive years, and it took a couple of miracles. But hey, listen, it happened. I watched it. I saw it with my own eyes. But that's it. That's all he had going for him. And you said, man, he beat Coach Saban 2 years in a row. I think we need to hire him, and you did, regardless of what his background was. I'm sure y'all did a deep dive on his background, okay? I'm talking to the Bugs. I'm sure you did a huge, deep dive on this idiot's background, but let's, if you love him for the face of your program, so be it.
I did tell a few people what you called him. They loved it.
Well, and I won't stop calling him that, Ryan, because that's just what I do. And as far as the Iron Bowl, how relevant or irrelevant it is right now, Ryan, listen, I don't care if Auburn ever holds up their end of the bargain. This rivalry can flatline for all I care. I do not want this rivalry to get back to like it was maybe in the 80s. I couldn't care less, Ryan. I want nothing but carnage on the plains, okay? I don't care if this rivalry ever comes back. Listen, this is Fear the Thumb year. We're gonna take them down in November. We're going to Jordan Hare. I said Jordan, not Jordan. We're going to Jordan Hare next year. We're going to try to extend the pain for a 6th consecutive year, okay? So I have nothing for Auburn. I couldn't care less if they ever come back. They can burn that program to the ground, okay? I have nothing but hatred for that program. They can kiss my ass.
Oh, Paul's fired up. He's fired up. All right, Paul, you're a logical guy. Saban Field, Nick Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. You like it?
It's fine. Listen, Ryan, you and Tony were kind of talking to what I was going to say about that subject. Ryan, I truly believe, and you guys mentioned, Coach Saban does not get hung up on stuff like this. He is not going to lose sleep on whether or not his name is attached to the stadium. Now, it'll be an honor to him, and he'll appreciate it, and he will be he already is a grand ambassador for the university, and he'll love the ceremony. But he'll deflect any credit. He will. He'll deflect credit to his players, to the university itself. That's just the kind of guy he is. Listen, and I'm kind of like Greg. Listen, he's 72 years old, going on 52. Listen, I really believe that he's going to be with us. Hopefully, I pray to God that he will be for an extended period of time, long time. So I think there's plenty of things that can come up the road for him. What about naming? Yeah, I just thought. What about naming the Tuscaloosa Airport after him? You know, something like that. Just, I may sound small, but there is plenty of stuff that you can attach his name to it. I just don't want to. When you talked about having so many names attached to the stadium, Bryant-Denny. Or Nick Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Then you think about Bryant-Denny Stadium at Kalen DeBoer. It sounds like a lot of word salad, kind of like the illegitimate vice president we have, a lot of word salad that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So, listen, there's people in place at the university that I'm pretty confident they'll make some good decisions about where they attach Coach Saban's name to. Because what he's done with the local community, the state of Alabama, in that university, you cannot put a dollar value on it. I mean, what Dr. Witt said, it was the greatest investment the University of Alabama has ever made in its history. And I truly believe that. So I'm sure.
All right, so if it's not enough, what would you like to see added? I mean, like just something off the wall. I mean,
well, Brian had something to do with where this university is right now.
Sure, he did.
And listen, I think Tom called earlier and say what all the things that Dr. Denny meant to what he meant to the university. So, like I said, I don't know. You want to add a third name to the stadium? Where are you going to put your sponsor? How are you going to name your sponsor? You're going to go Nick Saban / Alabama Power Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Because that conversation has been had with these different schools reaching out for corporate sponsorships. I think it's a nice gesture where they're going with this, and I feel like there's more to come. But for right now, I think it's a nice gesture. That's just my 2 cents.
No, I do. I feel like that there needs to be more, and maybe there's more coming.
Yes, that's what I'm sure.
Rename a wing of the Bryant Museum, the Saban Museum, because
Sure.
But I said, in my mind, Nick Saban is better than Coach Paul Bear Bryant.
I think I can say that, and in fact, I think I will say that.
Okay. So it needs to be equal, right? I mean, somewhat, or at least it can't be under. I mean, Bryant's got a ton of stuff named on that campus after him.
He does. You got Bryant Hall, Bryant-Denny Stadium, Bryant Drive.
The new bridge is the Bryant Bridge. I mean,
then what's the building across from
Paul Dever Bryant Drive? Yeah. Say it one more time.
Yeah, and the Bryant Conference Center. I mean, you've got tons of buildings and monuments for Coach Bryant, and I think in time Coach Saban will have his.
And knowing how important academics were to Coach Saban, maybe they could rename the Student Service Building. You know, the Saban Student Service Building, because that's kind of where it all starts, right?
Well, I tell you what, I don't think there's anybody, especially modern day, that put such a premium on athletics. A lot of coaches talked athletics and how important they were. Coach Saban put a premium on the student athlete.
I got to run, man. I really appreciate you as always. Thank you so much.
Roll Tide and roll MAGA.
We'll continue with more of the game next. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Flavoristic.
The sandwich of the summer. The Maple Pepper Bacon Sandwich.
Order the Maple Pepper Bacon Sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Available for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Our coverage of SEC Media Days this week is presented by BetU. What is it? It's Alabama's first and only legal app allowing you to directly bet against your friends. No bookie eliminates the middleman, which means no house, no juice, no fees. Direct betting, head-to-head or within a group. More fun, social betting experience. Very easy with Apple Pay, debit, credit cards. No collection. It's automatic. And you can find it in Alabama, the great state of Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Louisiana, Texas. Why is it legal? Peer-to-peer betting, legal because there is no house taking bets, only bets between your friends. It is a social network app, and it is a free download. You can find it for your iOS and coming very, very soon for Android users. It is BetU. Do a search for it, download it. And we're going to be giving away some great things courtesy of BetU.
Northport Power Equipment, largest inventory Husqvarna dealer in the Southeast. You'll find the Husqvarna models for residential and the professional landscapers, Skag commercial mowers, residential mowers, backpack blowers, handheld blowers, battery-operated tools. The service department at Northport Power Equipment, 2 blocks east of the Northport Civic Center. You'll find Northport Power Equipment, established in 1996, Northport Power Equipment.
You're listening to the best sports talk show, breaking down the Crimson Tide. The Game with Ryan Fowler on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Every Friday here on The Game is always powered by Brian Harden Construction, industrial contractors and fabrication, laser cutting, CNC machines, reverse engineering, experience you can count on. Let's build something together. BHardenConst.com, and we're looking for people to become a part of our winning team. Structural welders, pipe fitters, you'll find those at Brian Harden Construction. Let them guide you, and if they're not able to help you, they can guide you in the right direction. It's Brian Harden Construction every Friday, made possible by Brian Harden Construction here on The Game on Tide 100.9. The Game is powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota, TuscaloosaToyota.com. David DeSantis, the largest selection of new Toyotas in over 3 years, can be found on Skyline Boulevard, 3325 Skyline Boulevard. Also a nice inventory of pre-owned inventory. You can find the new Tundra, the 2024, the Tacoma 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive. How about a new 4Runner, Highlander, RAV4, Camry, Corolla? For those outside of Tuscaloosa, save money by driving to Tuscaloosa and buying here with a great tax rate. Customer service is a priority at Tuscaloosa Toyota, TuscaloosaToyota.com.
The longest running sports show in Tuscaloosa. The Game with Ryan Fowler on your home for
almost 11 midnight.
All right, we welcome you right back into the game here in Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Fred, Plano, Texas. Fred, good afternoon. You're in the game. I hope all is well, man.
All is well. And I'm sorry that I didn't get a chance to visit with you all when you were here in Dallas. I was there at Media Day on Monday. And who do I get a chance to meet but Nick Saban?
Man, listen, Fred, I think you won. That's a big advantage, okay? You don't need to meet us media folks. Meet Nick Saban. Did he talk to you, Fred?
Let me tell you what happened.
Okay.
I brought my son, and by the way, I had gone to the media day in Hoover back in 2016. Had a chance to come and hang out with a bunch of you. And in fact, one of my prize photos was meeting and taking a picture with the great Ryan Fowler. So I was winning there. But I also had a chance to meet Paul Feinbaum, Peter Burns, Cole Kubelik, a bunch of folks. So my impression was, oh, this is what it's always like. Fans can come, they meet folks. So I go on Monday. I take my son, who's a rising senior and a football player. We go down, and we hang out, meet a few people, but then security comes over. Excuse me, sir, do you have credentials? I'm sorry, this area is only for people who are credentialed. You'll have to go down to the first floor. So we take the elevator, go down, kind of hanging our heads. What do we do now? And I look up, and it's like a movie. Here comes Nick Saban. He's got this beautiful pastel blue shirt on, a pair of shorts, and I just stand up. Coach Saban? Almost confirming that it's him. And he says, yes. And I said, well, hi. I introduced myself. This is my son. I said, Joshua, give me that hat. We have a hat that Marcus Spears, who was on Coach Saban's 2003 title team at LSU, that Marcus had signed for me in 2016 at SEC Media Days in Hoover. So I hand him the hat, and I said, Coach, Marcus signed this hat. No one else is going to sign this hat. If you don't, would you please sign it for me? And I had picked up a red Sharpie, and he said, sure. And he signs it. And then somebody comes by and says hello. And I said, before you leave, would you also mind taking a picture? And he took the picture with us, and he also, as a bonus, signed my son's high school football that we had, Roll Tide, wow. Nick Saban. So he could not have been more gracious. And so when I heard your topic, I had to call in today to let you know that these, I'm trying to come up with the word, this Lilliputian-ish idea that had been floated. And I know naming the field is not insignificant, but it's not enough.
It's not enough. It's not enough. And I normally, listen, I side with the university on a lot of things. When I heard about this, and I'll tell you somebody else, I interviewed Kirk McNair. Kirk McNair is a historian. He's also a writer, and he's a great writer, by the way. There at what started Bama Mag. I mean, he was a guy that was just the grandfather. He was also worked in the sports information department. When I had him on to talk about Coach Saban from a historical, he said it before it ever even talked about it. He said it just doesn't seem like enough.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it. I recommend this as if I have any authority, but since we're discussing it, I recommend this. They really need a committee to come together to discuss, along with the city and maybe some folks from the state, a comprehensive way to do it. This is what I envision. You have not only whatever they're going to do with the stadium and the field, but it has to be a Nick Saban way. You need to have an honorary lecture series where focusing on leadership, sports management, and coaching excellence, for example. You need to have everything holistically that you can think of that deal with leadership and, of course, education. He's huge on that. And I'm going to tell you something that people miss. There is a Nick Saban, I don't know the right name of it, but it's associated with the Catholic Church. And, of course, he helped to support that. And it has grown so much due to the population of the university growing that they've had to add 3-4 times staff people, and they may all be ministers, since 2015. This is a direct result of Nick Saban, not only on football, but the impact he has had on the entire community. So I say again to you, this is a Lilliputian-ish, we got to do something idea. It's too small, but I leave it in your hands to help the people come up with something better. And this is from an LSU fan saying you've got to do more.
Hold on a minute. You're an LSU fan, Fred.
Yeah.
What happened to you, man?
Well, I grew up in Louisiana, and when you grew up on the bayou, let me tell you something. You don't get that out of you. You love it. Now, my mom is a huge Alabama fan because her grandfather was born in Alabama.
Smart lady.
We had that split. I would not disagree. Any compliments you have from my mom, I will accept them, including anything related to Bama. But it is an honor to speak with you. And look, y'all are some of the greatest fans. I wish you the best of Kellen DeBoer. The only thing I'll add, and you may have heard this, that, of course, the state of Washington has more Bigfoot sightings than anywhere in America. And the word is that on his time off, that Kellen DeBoer is down there on the trails, Tuscaloosa Trail, looking for Bigfoot. If you see him, tell him, get back over there, get back on that training facility, get back on the field, let Bigfoot find himself. But brother, let me tell you.
All right. So hey, but before you jump out of here, real quick, give me your thoughts on LSU.
Yeah.
We don't get a lot of LSU folks. So what do you think?
Here my thoughts on it. LSU is exactly where they want to be. Every time that LSU has won the title, they have been ranked somewhere between 10 and 15. I predict they'll be there this year. And here's why. Garrett Nussmeier, three-year guy who could have gone anywhere else. He's got the best bookend of tackles in the business, and they're both predicted to be first-round draft picks. One thing that people don't know, and watch out for this, Kyron Lacy, he was the third receiver on the team last year, but he was first on the team in yards per catch and second in the conference in yards per catch. They're going to be a dynamic offense, and by bringing in Blake Baker, who was on staff when Coach Kelly hit LSU a couple of years ago, but he wasn't retained, bringing him in, and Bo Davis, the best D-line coach in America, they're going to totally revamp their defense. And if we can have a top 50 defense, it's a team where you say, watch out, it's a championship contender. Because remember, last year, we were 108th in the nation and still won 9 games in the regular season and won 10 with the bowl game.
Okay. Well, I was going to say I wish you all the best, but I really don't, Fred.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Look, it's been a friendly talk, but don't do it. You know what you have to do. You got to roll Tide, and I got to go Tigers, baby. So.
Hey, Fred, thank you for calling in. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you. I really appreciate the phone call. I know I've interacted with you a few times on Twitter, man. Thanks.
Absolutely. Love you, man. Keep up the great work.
Fred, Plano, Texas. All right. Nice guy. Nice guy. We'll continue. Let's go. No, are you giving me the break sign? No. Just slightly. Okay. No problem. TheStandardBama.com. TheStandardBama.com. It is the home of the 20-inch pizza pie, pepperoni, meat lovers, cheese, design your own. You can find the wings. You can find the boneless wings. You can find the great cheese sticks. You can find the macaroni and cheese bites. TheStandardBama.com. Whether it's by DoorDash, visit the Standard on the Strip, or that great pizza here in Tuscaloosa, TheStandardBama.com. TheStandardBama.com. Go see those guys. We're going to take phone calls, and I'd love to get you into the show. 205-342-9904. 205-342-9904. Blueberry Steve. No, I'm sorry. Stephen in Raleigh, North Carolina, first up. Blueberry Steve, Montreal. Phone lines have been hot as a firecracker, man. Our coverage continues of SEC Media Days. Alabama. Where was the picks at? We'll talk about it. And more things that Kalen DeVore said yesterday that I think you need to know. We'll talk about it next. T-Town, Todd, 100.9, 1230, WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
You'll be feeling these changes within just a couple of days.
Text support to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A hot afternoon. A few spots could see a shower or a thunderstorm through the evening hours. The high today 95, tonight's low 74. Tomorrow partially sunny. Again, the chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms by afternoon. The high 95. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9.
For over 5 years in our community in downtown Northport under that Roll Tide Bridge, Mark's Mark, the home of the chicken swirl. You'll find that since 1978 in Selma, Alabama, for over 5 years in downtown Northport. If you want to dominate the grill today or any day, find Mark's Mark. A great stop by on your way home if you're preparing for dinner. They've got a lot of those gourmet dishes that you can find, the great casseroles, the dips, the appetizers, the great steaks, the pork chops, the burgers, and all the supplies you need to dominate the grill. It's Mark's Mark for over 5 years in downtown Northport and since 1978 in Selma, Alabama. Mark's Mark, home of the chicken swirl.
WTBC Tuscaloosa and W265CG Tuscaloosa, a Town Square media station. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, Here's Nick Cope.
First round of the Open Championship from Royal Troon is in progress. Shane Lowry holds the solo lead at 4 under. He's still on the course. Justin Thomas in the clubhouse. He is at 3 under. Brooks Koepka and Xander Schauffele are part of a large group at 2 under. Other players still on course. You got Tiger Woods, who's at 6 over. Scotty Scheffler is 1 under. And a couple notable names really struggled today. U.S. Open winner Bryson DeChambeau finished 5 over, and Rory McIlroy finished at 7 over. And the NFL receiver Devontae Adams told Shannon Sharp he's locked in with the Raiders and not seeking a trade out of Vegas amid rumors of him wanting out. 2025 MLB schedule has been released in full. Dodgers and Cubs will open the season in Tokyo in mid-March, with opening day for the rest of baseball on March 27th.
I got spirit, I got faith. I might bend, but I won't break. I'll fight the elements. And I'ma go down swinging. If I go down, I'ma go down swinging. If I go down, I'ma go down swinging. If I go down, I'ma go down swinging. If I go down. This ain't a home. Nah, not even close. They camouflage like we fighting some ghosts. You start to doubt everything that you know. I feel the heat and it's starting to show. They try to break us, make us want to give in. Lay down our arms, provocate us again. Lay down a fight, I could never relent. And I'ma take it all the way to the end.
All right, we welcome you right back into the game. DanielMooreArt.com, DanielMooreArt.com. Celebrate those special Alabama moments in your life, just like Tyler Booker talks about last year. What is it? The prayer at Jordan Hare, that win. He says, find some tissues to wipe away those tears. Chris Davis, who? Okay, got it. Tyler Booker. Dude, you are a quote machine. I mean, this guy throws out a ton of stuff. DanielMooreArt.com. Celebrate that special Alabama fan in your life. DanielMooreArt.com. Whether you're talking about 4th and 31, the Gravedigger play, whether you're talking about the legacy continues, which is so awesome when you think about the University of Alabama and what they've been able to accomplish over the last 30 years. But you look at Coach Mal Moore's in that, Mark Ingram's in that. Obviously, Nick Saban's got tons and tons of photos. It's hanging proudly there in my living room. So you can find it at DanielMooreArt.com. Remember the code word, the game, a significant discount. And we put this poll up on Twitter just a couple of minutes ago. Tony, it's amazing. Would you say that so far, not the majority, but it's been heavily favored in that they don't like the naming? They like the gesture, but it's just not enough. I put it up on Twitter, and currently 81.6% of the votes say yes. 18.4% say no. They don't approve it. Okay. Let's take phone calls. Let's go to Blueberry Steve in Montreal, Canada. Blueberry Steve, good afternoon. You're in the game. I hope all is well.
All is very well, my friend Ryan. How about yourself?
Oh, man, good.
To be home?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's always good to be back in Tuscaloosa and, knock out some good food, man.
Well, first of all, I want to give some props to Fred, that LSU fan. He's a class act, man. Class act. I just feel bad that, when I was last in Tuscaloosa, I had to, no, I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad that we beat his team, but class act, nice guy. Yeah, whatever. Nice story about Coach Saban too.
Well, and you do have to look at it from an LSU perspective. They're probably a little butthurt that Nick Saban, left their university, went to the NFL, and became the greatest football coach to ever walk the sidelines. That probably is kind of a little smack in the mouth.
Yeah, but okay. So now, tell me, this controversy about the stadium, the naming, the field. Is it like? For somebody who's only been to Tuscaloosa once, I mean, I look forward to going my next trip, which is going to be in October, to see the game October 26th, right? I look forward to the Bryant Saban Stadium, to visiting the Bryant Saban Stadium. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, well, but I mean, do you like it?
I do like it. I think he deserves it. I also like your first caller. I think it was Greg who said that they should change the Walk of Fame to Terry and Coach Saban Walk of, like, because I know how, from listening to you guys, I mean, as a person who lives, far away, but I understand what they've done for the community, especially back in 2011, when you had that terrible storm. Was it a storm?
It was tornado. Hurricane? Yeah, 2011, April 27th, 2011. I think most of us will never forget that here. And from what I understand, they were like really, really kind and good. And so, look, I just think that you can't do enough for Coach Saban. But whatever, I'm sure, as you said, I'm sure he doesn't really care. Well, but it's it's about your legacy. It's about your mark. Yeah, we remember 6 national titles, but we remember 9 SEC titles. We remember him flipping the script on the University of Alabama. But let's say 40 years from now, somebody walks up and goes, like it's like for us asking Frank Thomas and Wallace Wade questions. We don't know, but we need to make sure that we preserve history. We're the only ones who can do it. That's why, when we were talking with Courtney Morgan earlier this week, we brought up the late Derek Thomas, and we honored his legacy.
Talking about your interview with Courtney Morgan, that was such a very amazing interview, which I listened to the whole one, and what a great addition for the team. But what I really liked is when you asked him about whether he would be joining Coach DeBoer in Tuscaloosa. He said he just assumed. Remember that? He said, I just assumed that I would be joining him. So, it's like these guys are really tight, and they really have mutual respect, and it's a good thing. He's the type of guy, the GM position. He's the type of guy that college football teams need now in the NIL transfer portal era. Wrong or right?
I think he's perfect. And I was on a show this morning in Jackson, Mississippi, and I made the comment. I simply made the comment. I said, you listen to Courtney Morgan talk, it's brilliant. It's brilliant to listen to him share thoughts, and it's perfect because it's the direction of college football. Think about what a GM does in the National Football League. NFL has now introduced free agency. You can call it what you want. You can call it a portal if it makes you feel better, but it's free agency. And the only difference between the NFL and college is there's a contract in the NFL, 3 years, 4 years. There is no contract in the college football. You can be here today, gone tomorrow, and by next Monday you can have it, 3 different schools. So that's when you step back a couple of minutes and you really start analyzing it. It's general manager is a perfect term to help you navigate the waters. It helped us learn a lot about who Courtney Morgan is. And if you missed Kalen DeBoer, Noah, will you chop up that question from Kalen? It was the first question out of the gate about Courtney Morgan. And it's literally the first one, if you don't mind, if you can. It literally is the first question I asked to of Kalen DeBoer. I wanted to talk about what Courtney means to this program. And here's the thing, Blueberry Steve, because he is so brilliant, you're going to have to fight other schools and put up a fence around Courtney Morgan because they're going to come calling. Because
they might come calling, Ryan, but there's a level of mutual respect between him and Coach DeBoer. I think that
there is super. No, but that's not going to stop people from calling. But listen, let me. Well, I know, but Blueberry Steve. Well, but I think it's Kalen DeBoer showing his appreciation, but also when you think about, you want your coaches to be wanted, right? You want them to be wanted. You want them to say, is anybody knocking down the door and saying, hey man, I can't wait to go get whomever, assistant coach at another university. You want your coaches to be wanted. You want them to want to hire your coaches. It's a good thing. It's not a negative.
Look at what happened to all of everybody who was, as we spoke about many times, all the people that were assistant coaches or coordinators for Coach Saban, Sark, Kirby Smart, I could Kiffin. I mean, but listen, it's a different world now. You're right. So they might have. Look, I agree that the guy is phenomenal, very, very impressive, and that's just what you need in today's world. I think. Is Noah going to play a clip, or do I have another comment to make?
You got another comment to make. He's editing it. It takes a couple of minutes, so I threw him a curveball because I thought it was just a really good comment about Courtney Morgan and the relationship that they have, and just the same way that we were talking with Jalen Milroe yesterday. Jalen Milroe pretty much set it out there and said, when you look at the relationships, I said, what's the biggest difference? It's authentic relationships. They're real.
Well, he's a very impressive young man.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And I rode back last night, and it just so happened the vice president of the University of Alabama was one of the vice presidents was on the plane. And we actually spent some time talking about Jalen Milroe and the ambassador that he is and will be for the University of Alabama.
Will be.
Yeah. Well, and he is currently, but he's going to be because he's so vocal. I mean, you saw in the interview that he goes, "Roll Tide." I mean, he's got that little trademark.
That. I love that. And I love the length coming back. I love being positioned, being fourth. That's fine. Let's be the hunter. Let's be the hunter. But no, I wanted to make another comment. Is there any way possible that you could convince my good friend Paul to let loose and tell us how he really feels about the Boogs? Anyway.
I wish Paul would just relax and just give us.
Oh, no. He's no, come on. But he can elaborate a little more, can't he? I love it.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is that's the issue is Paul he's just he's careful because Blueberry Steve, deep down in his heart, he feels pain for Auburn because they've had 3 losing seasons. If you want to go back to that 4th season, it was a 6-5 season. So he
feels pain for the Bugs?
He does. And he takes it out on us. It's the frustration.
Well, yeah, listen, I don't know. I don't want to psychoanalyze my friend Paul, especially because he's a true MAGA man, and, it's just something special.
You've been watching the RNC?
Of course. Glued to it, man. Glued to it.
Did they even let you guys watch that up in Canada?
They do. We get, actually, I don't know if I told you this. I up here in Montreal, in Canada, in Quebec, anyways, to get the Fox News channel, you have to also subscribe to a package which gives you MSNBC and CNN. So what I
You don't pay for that, do you?
I pay extra. I pay extra not to take the package, just to take Fox News. I swear to God, I don't want to have anything to do with those fake news. Can I use the word?
What do you think, Noah? Is that okay? Yeah, we're voting no. We're voting no. But
okay, I won't. I didn't really.
I mean, it's in the Bible, right?
There's a lot of words in the Bible, but anyways, no. Yeah. I'm a big fan of Fox News, and although the only one that I don't like listen, we're getting into uncharted territories now. Tomorrow I'm going to call you back and talk because it's Free for All Friday, sponsored by Brian Harden Construction. But today I'm going to just try and talk more just about football.
Okay. Thank you. Hey, Liberty Steve, I got the clip, and I'm going to play it in the next clip because I think it's one that we need to, continue to pay respect to. Because this recruiting momentum, it's a huge part of what Courtney Morgan's been able to do. It's pretty awesome.
I know, and you know what? It's what I love is the way they're building. They're laying a foundation. They're laying that foundation. So. Oh, by the way, I do agree. You spoke earlier. Let me just say, you spoke to one of your guests earlier. I forget which one, the first one or the second one. And you asked about whether or not all the recruiting is success, or maybe it was yesterday, is helping the. Whether the Coach Saban's profile is helping the recruiting. I believe it is.
Oh, I think it will. I think it will continue. And if the other fan bases don't like it, tell them to go pound sand.
Too bad, so sad.
Yep. Thanks, Steve. Thank you, Ben. Appreciate you.
Right.
Blueberry Steve, Montreal, Canada. We're going to continue with more phone calls, and we go here 205-342-9904. Jumbo, get ready. We're coming your way. Next, T-Town, Tide, 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Now, this hour's West Alabama real-time news update from the Tuscaloosa Thread Newsroom.
A new Walmart neighborhood market is coming to Hillcrest off Highway 69 South after the Tuscaloosa City Council annexed and rezoned a parcel of undeveloped land on Tuesday. In the other direction, Sitar of India has announced plans to open a new drive-through and takeout express restaurant north of the Black Warrior River. And state and local police have issued a missing persons alert for a 19-year-old who was last seen before dawn on Thursday. For the details on these stories and more, get connected at TuscaloosaThread.com.
Get 24/7 local news coverage and sports updates when you download the free Tuscaloosa Thread app and sign up for twice daily email newsletters. Tide 100.9 Traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Happy Thursday afternoon to you. We've got a couple of situations in the area that's going to slow you down. So, Foster's Ferry Road near Joe Malacham Parkway. This specifically at Unity. You have a fender bender here on the west side. That's got traffic a little crawly. And also on McFarland Boulevard at DAP.
Not available in every state, subject to terms and conditions. Rating factors and savings vary, and in some states your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Alabama Credit Union with the official countdown to Alabama Crimson Tide football right here on the game, alabamacu.com. The mobile app saves a lot of time. The mobile deposits, checking, savings, mortgage, home equity loan, financing a vehicle, the great competitive rates. Alabama Credit Union with great branches all over West Alabama and throughout the state of Alabama. Alabama Credit Union, alabamacu.com.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A hot afternoon. A few spots could see a shower or a thunderstorm through the evening hours. The high today 95, tonight's low 74. Tomorrow partially sunny. Again, the chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms by afternoon. The high 95. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9.
Rumsey Environmental, a one-stop shop serving West Alabama for all of your waste removal needs. If you're in the construction business, take a little bit of stress out of your life. The construction debris removal containers customized to fit your job site, the portable toilet service, the storage containers to protect your valuables. It's Rumsey Environmental for that complete waste removal service. When you have to know it's being done right, that's the time to call Rumsey Environmental. 205-248-0002, RumseyEnvironmental.com.
Our coverage of SEC Media Days this week is presented by BetU. What is it? It's Alabama's first and only legal app allowing you to directly bet against your friends. No bookie eliminates the middleman, which means no house, no juice, no fees, direct betting, head-to-head or with a group. More fun, social betting experience. Very easy with Apple Pay, debit, credit cards. No collection. It's automatic. And you can find it in Alabama, the great state of Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Louisiana, Texas. Why is it legal? Peer-to-peer betting, legal because there is no house taking bets, only bets between your friends. It is a social network app, and it is a free download. You can find it for your iOS and coming very, very soon for Android users. It is BetU. Do a search for it, download it, and we're going to be giving away some great things courtesy of BetU.
The best breakdown of Alabama football in the state. The Game with Ryan Fowler on your home for
the only way they know how. That's just a little bit more.
According to Ross Dellinger, the SEC is back to considering more of this, the 8 conference game. They're looking at 9, according to Ross Dellinger, yahoosports.com. And I went back and read some of that article that we were talking about earlier. Ross Dellinger, he got it right. He got it right from a standpoint that he said Kalen DeBoer, in fact, arrived early the night before Alabama's scheduled day to appear in front of hundreds of members of the media. He was spotted walking through the lobby on Tuesday night, and he moved around his schedule on Wednesday to accommodate more, not fewer interviews. None of this would be surprising at odd if he were not the Alabama football coach, but he is the Alabama football coach. So, and then Kalen DeBoer, where we were talking with Kalen DeBoer, we had an interview yesterday with him on a one-on-one set down, and we talked about Courtney Morgan, the University of Alabama general manager. Noah, let's work this in when you listen to Kalen DeBoer talking about Courtney Morgan. We asked him about Courtney Morgan, and this is how he responded. This is to talk about his general manager here at the University of Alabama.
Well, first of all, I mean, I'm glad you brought up the person, because that's really where it starts. And I know we have a great relationship, and it just starts with me and his appreciation for each other, and just how we want to go about our business and the work that we want to put in. He just does things the right way. He's relentless. He's driven. He's just got a great mindset and a great method. I think when you really understand his past history and what his other opportunities have been beyond football, he's been in sales. He's been in a lot of different areas that have all added to the growth of him as a person, which, he takes all of that in, and, kind of look him up sometime, and what his past has been and his resume is all about, because it will make sense on why he's so successful. But he's just been relentless, and he's kept the staff all organized and heading in the right direction. It's been a group effort, but he certainly spearheads all of it.
There it is, talking about Courtney Morgan. Kalen DeBoer yesterday, if you missed that, Tide109.com, Tide109.com. Let's go to Jumbo. Jumbo, good afternoon. You're in the game. I hope all is well.
Hey, Ron. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. Earlier.
Thanks for the music.
They told you never saw them in trouble with the law since the day they was born.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're renaming part of the field, or we'll be renaming the field, according to Tony Tsoukalos, which we featured earlier. It'll be called Nick Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. In your opinion, is it enough?
Oh, no. Lord, no. Denny's got Bryant-Denny Stadium. He's got Denny Chimes. There's a couple other things, my understanding, but having a field named after you is a great honor, because there's been some wars out there on that field. Alabama has played some amazing games out there over the last 60 years that I've been alive. So, but there's other things. I think they should name a street after him, and probably a couple of buildings. But Nick Saban Field at Bryant-Denny, I can live with that. I think it's good. Is it enough? No, I don't think it's enough, but I'm sure they'll do other things for him.
And I'm sure they will. I think they will probably take it and, add more. But it just, I would have liked it, and I don't know how you would do it, okay? But I think the name somehow being incorporated, because I just don't know how many people is going to refer to it as Nick Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium.
There may not be a lot, but I think people will accept it later on. But, who's to say that they won't drop the Denny name on the stadium and make it Bryant Stadium?
They're not going to.
You don't think they will?
No.
Well, okay. It's nice to think about, but hey, I'm okay with it. But they'll end up naming a lot more than just the field after him. So that's a no-brainer there.
Yes, they will.
The guy who called in a few minutes ago from Texas, This guy fell under a lucky star, because, you know, all I told you I ever want to do was meet Coach Saban and shake his hand. That's more memories to me than anything in the world. I told you guys I bought hats for Coach Oates and Coach DeBoer. Coach Oates got his hat Monday, and his secretary said that he was just like a kid in a candy factory. That thing. He wanted to know who gave it to him. And I actually had my name and stuff on there and my phone number and a little message saying, thank you, Coach, for coming to Tuscaloosa, and thank you for making Alabama basketball great. But somebody took it off there, and I don't know who it was, but he got the hat. He was real pleased with it. Now I just got to find out if Coach DeBoer got his. But all I wanted to do was meet those two guys, shake hands with them, thank them for coming to Tuscaloosa, and how much we appreciate them, and how much I look forward to watch them on the sideline in the next year or so.
Well, and I know that's a nice gesture, and I'm sure Coach Nate Oates greatly appreciates that, man. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, you know, when you guys we started talking about a new coach, I don't know if I was one of the first ones to lobby for Coach Oates, but I believe I was. I may have been the top one or two or three. I don't recall. I just can't remember things like I used to. And but, I mean, the guy has done an incredible job. And here we are again talking about basketball during football season. So that lets you know that, you know, our sports programs are headed in the right way. I think there's a lot to look forward to. And like I told you 3 or 4 weeks ago, I made a comment about I believe Alabama will be in the Final Four of the college football playoffs, and they'll be playing for a national championship. And I truly believe that Alabama basketball will be in the Final Four come April, and they will be playing for a national championship. Man, what more can you ask for? Baseball is slowly coming around, so you know we're headed in the right direction, and I believe we've got the right people in the right places out there at the university, starting with Greg. And you know it's exciting right now to be a Alabama fan. I mean, I love Coach Saban, thank him for what he's done, but I think Coach DeBoer is really gonna make a statement, but surprise a lot of people. This guy, his recruiting is just off the chart. Well done what he's doing. I mean, I'm just so tickled to death about the next 3 or 4 or 5 years here. It's going to be really something to see.
You know, we talked about this on Monday. When you look at adding 2 5-stars to be able to enhance that class, to be able to go to the number 1 class, we already think that Kalen DeBoer is an elite schematic coach. I mean, I saw it just a couple of minutes ago where a winning percentage, based on winning percentage against top 25 teams. Do you know who number 1 in the country is on winning percentage against top 25 teams? You know who has the highest winning percentage in the country among active coaches? You're right, Kalen DeBoer.
Wow.
And it's not even close. His winning percentage against top 25 teams is 85.7%.
Wow.
You want a comparison to Kirby Smart?
Who?
You want a comparison to Kirby Smart?
Who's that?
Well, he's the Georgia football coach. 73.3. You want a comparison to Ron Day? 69.2%. Dabo, 61.9%. Lincoln Riley, 58.6%. Dan Lanning, 58.3%. Brian Kelly at LSU, 50%. Josh Heupel at Tennessee, 47.3%. James Franklin, 37.8%. And Mike Norvell, 33.3%. In other words, he has some of his best coaching against elite teams. Top 25 teams, according to Brad Crawford, 247 Sports, 85.7% of the time he gets the victory.
Wow. And that's remarkable. But look at what the man's done at where he's been. I mean, it's remarkable. Everybody said he wasn't going to be able to recruit. But this fella has said, yeah, look at me. Look what we're doing. We're getting the recruits. We're getting the people. And I'm telling you, man, it is going to be, getting goosebumps. Man, it is going to be exciting come August 31st. And we have to wait all day till 6 o'clock, which is fine. But I mean, I can't wait to see what's on the field, and I can't wait to see how the players react and what they do. But I'm more excited, I think, was watching the fans and see how they take this on, because even though we don't have a roof on Bryant-Denny, they may blow that thing away if they get excited enough out there. So, I'm excited. I'm thrilled to death. I think Alabama football has not taken a step back, and in fact, I think we've taken a couple steps forward. Everything's in the right place. All we got to do is get out on the field and start clicking and show what we can do.
Thank you, Jumbo. Appreciate you, man, as always.
Thanks, man. Y'all take care, and God bless you, and go Donald Trump.
Jumbo, thank you, man. Appreciate you. And we'll do a free-for-all Friday sponsored by Brian Harden Construction tomorrow. ASME certification, I-beam installation, fabrication. If you are building from the ground up, let's build something together. Brian Harden Construction, bhardenconst.com, bhardenconst.com. We're looking for people to become a part of our winning team every Friday, made possible by Brian Harden Construction. We don't have any more guests, so we're done with guests. We finished up around 3:15. We've been all phone calls. We're talking about, the new Nick Saban field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. That is expected to be approved by the Board of Trustees tomorrow. Tony Sakalas visited with us earlier. If you missed that, Tide109.com. We're rolling on right here on the game. We do have two lines available, 205-342-9904. Man. I saw Nick Kelly put up something a couple of seconds ago. Dropping in to add one quick comment to the Alabama football field name discourse. Although Bryant-Denny Stadium has a nice ring to it, BS Stadium does not. Yeah, I hear you. I do. I mean, that's something that we thought about a few weeks ago, so I do. I think about it. Let's continue with more of the game. We'll take your calls. Tommy and Romulus, get ready. We're coming to you next. T-Town Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Fincher and Osmond to the rescue.
I'm Tom Osmond, your jeweler at Fincher and Osmond Jewelers. Not so easy to find on McFarland, between Edgar's and local routes.
Don Wallace CPA, 527 Main Avenue in downtown Northport. Small business and personal income taxes, payroll, sales tax needs. They can also help you with nonprofit or church accounting or auditing. In business since 1999, they work for you, not the IRS. When you take on taxes, you got to have someone on your side. It's Don Wallace CPA, 205-345-5595, 205-345-5595. Don Wallace CPA, the official accountant of the game. Southern Ale House, 1530 McFarland Boulevard. As you know, it's one of my favorite places. Eat Southern, be Southern, the daily lunch and dinner specials, the great menu that features that Southern cuisine, like the bacon wrapped meatloaf, the fish and taters, the biscuit sandwiches, the great steaks, the great chicken entrees, great sandwiches, including the pickle burger, the Ale House burger, the yard bird, great desserts, and always that featured bread pudding that Brett Garner's cooking up. Let Southern Ale House cater your special event by calling Taylor at 205-248-7500. Call ahead orders always welcome. Southern Ale House, 1530 McFarland Boulevard.
Follow the Crimson Tide on their journey to another national championship. Touchdown, Alabama! On your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9.
A welder's son and a banker's daughter. All right, we welcome you right back into the game here in Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports. Let's continue with more phone calls, and we go to Tommy and Romulus. Tommy, good afternoon, sir. You're in the game. I hope all is well.
All is well. How are you, Ron?
Good, good. I just saw where Lou Dobbs passed away today, unexpectedly. So,
wow.
Yeah,
he hasn't been on much lately.
Yeah, I think he went to Mike Lindell's show. So,
yeah.
He was a guy that was removed after challenging some of the election fraud that our friends from the left pushed a few years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I have thought about your predicament. I'm going to help you out. That's the type of guy I am. I might have to take 2 minutes longer. You know what? We talked about what is enough for Nick Saban to be on the field is fine, or the name of the stadium, or I look at it this way. Tuscaloosa is still growing. In another 5 to 8 years, or maybe 10, they're going to have another high school. It took them about 15 years to name a high school after Coach Bryant passed. They can name a high school after him. But this, what I come up with, I know it's crazy and far-fetched, and I'm going to throw it out there, and I'm pretty sure you're going to get a lot of hee-haw about it. You talked about what he had done when the storm hit, the tornado hit in 11. How it bond him, the city, and the people of Tuscaloosa bond it with saving Miss Terry, and Miss Terry saving with Tuscaloosa. The university can do this, and the city can do this. Help revive our area of Tuscaloosa. One of the most best places I could see to do that is that University Mall. Listen me out before you go nuts. Think I've gone nuts, which I probably have.
Yeah, and I went in there the other day, Tommy.
It's awful.
It's sad.
It's sad.
And I don't know what to do. I mean,
but no, now we have the Bryant Conference Center. Why not make that whole area, that mall, the Saving Conference Center? Put a hotel beside it. Have conference rooms. You need to go out and browse to see what they have done to that old hospital. If they can do that to that old hospital, the university.
Yeah, the Welcome Center. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes. They can do something out there. I mean, they can put a restaurant back in the mall. They can make it nice. You can park here. You can ride a bus to the game. You can get a nice meal before or after, or stay in the hotel on the Friday. It will help that community, and it be a positive sign. Because every time you see a picture of the storm that hit here in 2011, you see the University Mall in the background. You see DCH. You're not a mile or maybe a mile and a half or less from the university. You can do tramp. That would help that area. And you can put walkways across the street where people can go to Midtown. It would really help the Tuscaloosa and he'd be for something like that to help everyone, not just to honor him what he did on the football field. I know it's awful, but that'd be a great spot. And you'd be going up and down 2 major intersections, and you see the Saving Conference Center. You can have class reunions there. You can have meetings. You can have high school graduates. Whatever. I'll do it to work. I know it's far-fetched, but I think he will look that will honor his family and Miss Terry and their children more than just sitting there putting names on buildings and buildings and buildings. That'd be something positive for him, Tuscaloosa, and the university. I think it's a win-win. I know it's far-fetched, but I'd throw it out.
Well, and in the University Mall, for those living outside of the area, this means nothing to you, but it's kind of sad. I mean, when you walk in, it feels like, I'm sure there's some great businesses in there, but there's also a lot of vacant space, a ton. So indoor malls have really taken a big hit. People prefer to pull up to the store, more in a strip mall. That's why you've seen Midtown, Legacy Shopping Center. Those are all really big, and that's a prime spot right there on 15th Street, McFarland, one of the busiest intersections in the entire state. But when you walk into the mall, Tommy, it looks.
It's awful. I know. I've been there.
Well, it just looks so out of date, and
they haven't paved the parking lot in 10 years.
Yeah.
You can revitalize that area and be a positive. They're working on the park over there.
And it would be a good conference center. I never really thought about that. But, that would be an economic, boom for this area.
You can put a hotel, a 4-story thing. People have conferences. It would be a positive thing. Just something for the university, for Tuscaloosa. It's be beneficial. I don't know what's going to go on that Farley Mall parking lot because it tore down. But that building is right at 44 years old. And it'd be something positive. And university can use it. The city of Tuscaloosa can use it. You have everything in one area, and you can have conferences. You can, whatever you want to do. And I know Midtown summer on Friday night movie. You could do something like that for game Friday night before the game. It would be positive. I know it might hurt downtown Tuscaloosa, but it will really grow the area, and it will revitalize that area because they got rid of the northern school and they're redoing the park. And they took all that and do that and make something positive. And have a little park there. There's already one there. I used to play Little League Baseball in the old Northern Park and all like that. It can be something.
I love the idea, but I mean, that's from a more of a municipal side of things. Fair?
Well, yeah, but everybody can work together and get off their dust, and they can really make this happen. It'll be positive, and this will be long-lasting legacy to him. Just more than just being a football coach, being a community leader, and talk about all the houses he built for Habitat Humanity. And all this, it just wouldn't be football. And have his museum in there. Because you know what? We need a Saban museum. Have it all there. And there's the area.
Well, the Bryant Museum is beautiful. It is.
It is. I'm not taking nothing.
You could double it, and it still probably wouldn't be enough. I mean, when you go in there, it's a condensed version. I've never been to the back, but they say the back of the Bryant Museum, where a lot of the archives is just as large. The expansion might be an option, especially if we continue winning at this pace, because, Tommy, I think it's fair to say we're not slowing down.
That's right. And guess what? It would benefit Coach Oates, because if he wins the national, you can have another thing for Saban. Because Saban, I mean, there's enough stuff on Saban. I mean, the possibility is really endless. I mean, but it'll never happen. I want to throw it out there and give somebody to think about it. It would help Tuscaloosa. I'm like this. I'd rather see him have something named after him or Miss Terry. I'm tired of all these politicians getting something, and the only thing they have done is to enrich their own pocket.
Well, and you know what? I'm kind of agreeing with you, because I know the politicians, we sent them to Washington, D.C., but they do their job, and then we come back and we name mega buildings after them. In reality, Tommy, that name should be after you. It should be after Joe, the taxpayer, rather than the politician. But, because 40 years from now, we'll be like, who was this guy? Oh, he was just a political leader. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like somebody made a comment on the other show, who's the greatest. And I was told that I was copping out. Christian said, well, you cop out. You said, I said, no, Christian, you don't understand. I'm fortunate. I was born in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and you can hear people all over. Oh, yeah, right, you're real fortunate. Yeah, I am. I use a perfect example. I'm like the Green Bay Packer in one sense. You got Curry Lambeau, the field name after, and Lombardi, the trophy, all that. They're the two greatest coaches they ever had, and people got to see both of them. I got to see two great coaches, Nick Saban and Bear Bryant. My father got to see the great Wallace Wade and Bear Bryant. He didn't live to see Nick Saban. I mean, it's building blocks. I know I'm a historian and I bore the hell out of everybody, but that's okay. I like to do that. I like to bore y'all down. But you just can't lose the history of a thing. It's important. It'd be great. I mean, when they start bringing national championship in basketball, you have something about him in that thing, and you can do something else there. It's just not. It's Alabama. That's what I'm trying to get the point. It's about the University of Alabama, the main university in this state, okay? Sorry, Auburn. Sorry, UAB, South Alabama. You kiss my big toe. Okay, I don't care my top. This is what I'm on. And we are in Tuscaloosa. This would be awesome. I mean, you have the walkway, you go across the interstate or the thing. You can go to Midtown, you can go bookstore, restaurant. Oh, you can have a restaurant in there. It's just something to revitalize, make that area come back since the tornado. And that would be more, he would love to have that legacy more than counting his football wins. I really believe that. So,
Tommy, good stuff, man. That's a local perspective, and you brought up the University Mall, man. Like I said, it is. I went and bought glasses over there the other day, and
it's pathetic. I mean,
there's not a lot of difference between that and a flea market. I mean, it's
no, building is less than 50 years old.
Is it really? When when was that built?
It opened in 1980. I was out of high school.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's some nice businesses in there, but there's also some a lot of vacant space, a ton of vacant space.
And you could have conference room like Brighton conferences are booked up a lot. We have Ollie there. I mean, I know I'm not on the Chamber of Commerce, but man, I think it's a win-win for the University of Tuscaloosa. I really do. I mean, it would bring more conferences here to Tuscaloosa. Who wouldn't want to have a conference at the Saban Center or the Saban Conference Center in Tuscaloosa, Alabama? Don't you love that ring? The Saban Center.
And we're doing the Saban Center, at the new kids Saban Center or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah. So
I mean, he does that. This would be, and I mean, it just would be. It would expand this. I mean, it would just, and the building be used a lot more than it would. It'd be kept up better now. It's going down to it. And another 10 years, it'll be like, Matt Farland Mall. People say, Matt Farland Mall. That's right. It's not there no more. And it'd be ready to center when the storm came by. It'd be a reminder that we can rebuild back better. I sound like Donald Trump, which I am, but I think if you want to do something everlasting and positive for future generations, that's how I see you do it. I mean, so I'm not an architect. I couldn't do it, but today Robin will be mad because they probably will lose their parking places in the fall. But it'd be awesome. I think. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, that's straight, but
Tommy, thank you so much, man.
All right, take care, my friend.
Absolutely. Noah, you may break ready to take one more phone call. Let's go to Cole in Northport. Cole, good afternoon. You're in the game.
What's up?
How are you, Cole?
Man?
It's been a long time.
It's been a minute, hasn't it?
It has been. We've missed you.
Dude, it's been chaos yesterday. I thought yesterday was probably the best day out of the whole week of the media day stuff. You had Texas and Bama going at it, man. It is going to be crazy. I'm going to tell you right now, Texas and Bama, I think, are the contenders for the championship in this playoff this year. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Me and Digger, I hate to agree with Digger, but me and Digger like Texas right now a lot. A lot. Digger. Me and Digger like Texas a lot right now. I think Texas they're just deep, man. They are deep. They're hungry, and they're going to prove themselves what they are. This is going to be the best team we've added in the SEC besides Alabama. I think it's going to be Bama and Texas going in the SEC each year. Just watch. Georgia's out. It's Texas now. The eyes of Texas are upon you. It's going to be Texas right now and Alabama every single year. Just watch. Just watch. It's going to be fun. This is the other team that's on Bama's level is Texas. This is huge. This is what I wanted right here, to see Bama and Texas play for every year. This is going to be great.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm with you on this.
Come on.
Yeah, listen.
Georgia? So you still like Georgia? I still like Kirby Smart?
Okay, I mean, I've already submitted my vote. I don't mind being transparent with you. I think it's going to be Alabama, Georgia, the SEC title game.
No, it's not.
Okay, well that's
no,
fine.
it's not.
Well, okay, why?
Where's Georgia at?
So you're saying Alabama and Texas?
They lost. Yes. Why? Why Georgia now? Brock Bowers is gone. Who do they have? Who did Texas get that was on Alabama last year? They got two of our guys, Nye Black and who else? Bond?
Isaiah Bond.
Yeah. They got Bond and who else? Nye Black?
Martin Nye Black.
Yeah. They got already Ewers, Baxter. I mean, does Georgia not have that comparability of what they had? Like, I mean, does Georgia? You still think they have guys like what Texas has got in the portal?
I guess you're believing in Sark. That's where I'm not at.
Why not?
I want to see more. I mean, he just coached his first double-digit win season, Cole.
Well, he did have the problems with his alcoholism at Washington or USC, wherever he got fired at. But that messed him up, though. He would have been fine if he hadn't gotten crazy on that podium that night in California. And everywhere he's been, he's done okay. I mean, he's been to a Super Bowl. He's been to a championship. I mean, the dude's got experience. He's got baggage, yeah, but that's what's held him back, though. But yeah, he would have had a title if he hadn't had that stuff. What do you think?
I don't.
Lane Kiffin's got baggage too.
Well, okay, but I mean, I'm not talking about baggage. I'm talking about he's been in some major stops, and the first time he's ever won double-digit games is this past year. Bo Davis leaving Texas is going to change a lot of the mindset. That toughness component that he adds, you can't tell me that's not going to be missed.
But I can't see Georgia with the athletes that Texas has. Texas did get some athletes this year. No doubt about it.
Okay. Well, only time will tell.
They did. They did. I don't see what Georgia doesn't have enough coming back to even. They're going to have probably 3 or 4 losses easily. Bama's going to have a hard schedule too. Bama could be on the. Hey, Bama's got to play at Tennessee, at LSU, at Oklahoma. That's 3 could be hard games. Maybe. I mean, we should win, but yeah. I mean, LSU, Tennessee. I mean, what happened in Tennessee, LSU 2 years ago?
Yeah, but so you're not believing in. You said 3 or 4 losses for Georgia.
I mean, Bama and Georgia could have either 3 losses or better for sure. Texas they have an easy schedule. Texas, if you look at their schedule, they have an easy path.
Man,
they have an easy path.
Oh, you were just you're bought in. I mean,
they have an easy path.
You got the burnt orange shirt on. I mean, what are you wearing?
We got to play at Oklahoma. Georgia, Missouri. Missouri's going to be good, man.
Have you been listening too much?
Watch Missouri.
Have you been listening too much Digger? That calls in our show. It sounds like you're buying what he's selling, man.
I want
you to help me find the 4 losses, please.
I told you Missouri's going to be tough.
No. Let's go back to
Oklahoma,
Georgia. You said 3 or 4 losses. So here we go.
With Bama and Georgia, maybe.
No, not combined. You said Georgia's going to have 3 to 4 losses. All right. So yeah, Clemson. Obviously, you have to.
That could be a winnable game. Where is that? Is that neutral game or is that
neutral side game over in Atlanta?
Neutral.
Tennessee
over
Tech,
in Atlanta. Ooh.
No. Kentucky, no. You stop me when you hear an L. At Alabama, okay, could be a loss.
Could be, maybe. I think again, it's gonna be a second half game.
Auburn home.
They should beat Auburn, Georgia.
Mississippi State.
They should win.
Then you got at Texas. Obviously, you're counting that as a loss.
I like Texas.
Oh, no, you don't just like Texas. You love Texas.
I like Texas at that game. Where is it in Austin, you said? Is it in Athens?
No, it's in Austin.
It's in Austin. Okay.
Then you have Florida here or Florida there.
They should win. Are they changing that game to home? Is that going to be a home, or is it still the Kirby Smart, remember, he said they wanted to change that game like a home and home.
No, it's still in Jacksonville. Yeah, it's not moving.
Are they going to?
We're going to run quickly, Cole. Ole Miss on the road.
They should win that game, Georgia.
Okay, Tennessee at home.
Tennessee,
they're not beating them in Athens. Come on.
Tennessee, they're not bad. They're not. Okay. That's a talk. We could have a hard time with Tennessee. We could have a hard time with Tennessee.
They could potentially have a couple of losses.
Yeah,
they're not getting 4. So. I mean, we just disagree, but hey, I'll either be eating some crow or you will be in December. And
I will. You're right. I think Texas, Tennessee, and Georgia, or no, Georgia, Texas, Alabama, or like they could be either good or they could be bad.
Cole. I got to run, man. Okay. Thank you. Hope you have a great day, man. 205-342-9904. 205-342-9904. We're taking your phone calls. Tony Tsoukalos reported earlier. He was with us. Nick Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium will not be official till tomorrow with the Board of Trustees, but it's coming September the 7th. That's South Florida game. We'll talk about it. We'll take your phone calls next. T-Town Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
WTBC Tuscaloosa and W265CG Tuscaloosa, a Town Square media station. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Nick Cope.
First round of the Open Championship from Royal Troon is in progress. Shane Lowry holds the solo lead at 4 under. He's still on the course. Justin Thomas in the clubhouse. He is at 3 under. Brooks Koepka and Xander Schauffele are part of a large group at 2 under. Other players still on course. You got Tiger Woods, who's at 6 over. Scotty Scheffler is 1 under. And a couple notable names really struggled today. U.S. Open winner Bryson DeChambeau finished 5 over, and Rory McIlroy finished at 7 over. And the NFL receiver Devontae Adams told Shannon Sharp he's locked in with the Raiders and not seeking a trade out of Vegas amid rumors of him wanting out. 2025 MLB schedule has been released in full. Dodgers and Cubs will open the season in Tokyo in mid-March, with opening day for the rest of baseball on March 27th.
Nuke's Eatery, they're on the fringe of the campus of the University of Alabama, close enough that you can smell the championships. The Nuke's Q sandwich, still the number 1 sandwich across the franchise. The French dip sandwich, I think, is going to challenge for that number 1 spot. The double club, the single club, you can pair those up with a great sandwich, salad, California-style pizzas, all available for catering from a group of 5 to 500, a small office party to a large corporate event. Joel Bromfield, they've done a great job for my family. They'll do a great job for you. 205 University Boulevard, 205-758-2455. Nuke's Eatery, close enough that you can smell the championships.
The best sports talk show in all of Alabama. The Game with Ryan Fowler on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Accidents in a couple of spots right now. First, Foster's Ferry Road near Joe Malisham Parkway, specifically at Unity. You want to watch out for that accident, and that's over on the west end of Tuscaloosa. And then we've also got a hiccup here on McFarland Boulevard at Daffron Road.
Code 6060. Go to shopmando.com, code 6060 for an extra $5 off a Mando starter pack. That's shopmando.com, code 6060.
Pat's Florist and Gourmet Baskets in downtown Tuscaloosa, 1010 Queen City Avenue. For over 60 years, they've been serving our community. They specialize in a large inventory of fresh flowers, weddings, gourmet fruit baskets. If you're trying to lift someone's spirits, it is Pat's Florist Gourmet Baskets by calling 205-345-5093. Delivery options are available, but it's more than just flowers at Pat's Florist and Gourmet Baskets, 1010 Queen City Avenue. If you're celebrating an anniversary, birthday, get well, love, and romance, trying to lift with someone's spirits, it's Pat's Florist and Gourmet Baskets in downtown Tuscaloosa.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A hot afternoon. A few spots could see a shower or a thunderstorm through the evening hours. The high today 95, tonight's low 74. Tomorrow partially sunny. Again, the chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms by afternoon. The high 95. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9.
Rolling down a backwoods Tennessee byway, one arm on the wheel.
Hey, real quick, we've got some major breaking news here. Let me make sure that this is correct. Know what? Look real quick on a search, and I know that we're not really doing radio, but are you seeing anything from a little bit more credible websites? I'm seeing a bunch here. Looks like that Joe Biden. Never mind. I'm not going to say it until I make sure that it's confirmed. It looks like that he may, which I think a lot of us have predicted that he would not be the nominee. But looks like that there's some word beginning to buzz as of just a couple of minutes ago. So we're going to see if this is actually accurate here. So we're working on that, but trying to manage, make sure there is no fake accounts out there, but looks like there is some folks out there that are going out saying that multiple sources are telling that he may withdraw from this nomination. So as early as this weekend, you see that from pretty credible sources?
I'm seeing some stuff that like he's maybe starting to change his mind or changing his mind.
Newsmax is reportedly breaking it pretty solid. President Joe Biden has reportedly agreed to step down as the Democrat nominee for the President of the United States as early as this weekend. Source to tell political analyst Mark Halperin, Biden will also reportedly endorse an open convention and not Kamala Harris, according to this report that just broke just a couple of minutes ago. So anyway, I know that'll be something that I'm sure our news team will cover, and that was just now breaking. So anyway, we're obviously it's a political election season, so the intersection between sports and politics becomes very, very close. But seeing several pretty solid people out here kind of jumping on this back, I don't think it takes a molecular engineer to say that I don't know if this guy's even going to make it to August. But
I don't see anything official as of this moment.
Okay.
Pressure seems to be mounting is basically what I see headlines saying.
All right. Well, good. But like I said, I do see
I think this is like stuff seems to be maybe shifting a little bit just because of his COVID diagnosis.
Yeah, that could be. I know he tried to kiss a lady that wasn't his wife earlier today. He walked up to somebody that looked similar and tried to kiss her, and Jill came running in and rescued him just to make sure that he was.
He had said in a pre-taped interview that aired last night that he told BET News that he'd reconsider staying in the race, quote, if I had some medical condition that emerged, if doctors came to me and said, you got this problem, that problem. So I don't know if COVID falls under his rules for that, but,
Well, either way. But just seeing that, like I said, being reported by a couple of different people, Newsmax is, I think the first one kind of jumped on it. But obviously, Newsmax is pretty right-wing, so I don't know if I used to subscribe to Newsmax magazine, but I've never really spent a lot of time watching the channel. But and I'm sure that's probably a channel that I would probably welcome home. But let's continue with more phone calls. 18 national titles, 30 SEC titles, 147 first-team All-Americans, 77 postseason appearances, 45 postseason victories, 4 Heisman winners, the greatest football coaches to ever walk the sideline. It is Alabama Crimson Tide football. We are powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota, TuscaloosaToyota.com, 3325 Skyline Boulevard, and online at TuscaloosaToyota.com. But let's continue with more phone calls. We'll go to Corey in Trussville. Corey, good afternoon. You're in the game. I hope all is well.
Hey, Ryan. How you doing this afternoon?
I'm good.
I couldn't think of a better way to honor Nick Saban by naming the field after him, and you knew it was a matter of time before the university did something. The greatest coach of all time, not just in Alabama, but in college football history, and it was bound that the university was going to do something in that sort of way. Wouldn't you agree?
You like it? So you think it's enough? Yeah. Okay. All right.
Well, I think that's the bare minimum.
Well, I think there will be other things. I hope that they'll rename some streets, or a street. And I'd love for it to be out on the 2059, Corey, when all these opposing fans drive through. Then they could remind how many times Nick Saban spanked them. Ole Miss fans going back to the state of Mississippi, Mississippi State fans coming through Tuscaloosa to get back to the state, Louisiana fans, LSU fans driving through the state, some way on the interstate. I'd love for an intersection to be, a road sign. Turn here for Saban Street, and then all that fear can go back.
If you remember when Bobby Bowden passed away, how they painted his hat on the field, do you think they would do somebody paint Saban's straw hat on the field or something?
Say it one more time.
I said, you remember when Bobby Bowden passed away and they painted
I do.
his straw hat on the field? Yeah. I mean, his hat on the field, and maybe they could do something there with Saban Straw hat on the field or something. I know that's small, but just like a gesture.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not dead.
I mean, I know I'm speaking small here, but just like I said, just something on the field surface. But as far as like, or maybe paint the number like each year they won a championship under Saban on the field.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't. I mean, but I mean that's like temporary, those, Corey.
Why temporary?
Just painting something on the field?
Well, I see what you're saying. What would be like an iconic thing? Like I know the name on the stadium, but what else do you think would be like iconic?
Yeah, the football building would have been perfect, but it needs to be named after Coach Malmore. It deserves to be named after Coach Malmore. That's
you mean the Malmore Athletic Facility?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's pretty awesome. But you start kind of traveling around. I think that's, because if you don't take off Denny based on you don't want to offend a previous president, well, I mean, you could talk about a lot of buildings. You don't want to do this.
I don't know the history of this, but how important was Drew Thomas?
Frank Thomas?
The Drew Thomas practice facility.
Oh, yeah, okay. I don't know a lot about him, to be honest with you.
I was thinking maybe practice facility or something.
Now, that's the Hank Crisp indoor practice facility.
That's what I mean.
Okay. I don't know. That's probably a Tommy question because I don't know who Hank Crisp is.
Well,
here you go. Here you go. Hank Crisp was an American basketball player.
So it wasn't even football related. But switching subjects, did anything catch your attention today?
He is a member of the, I guess, Alabama Hall of Fame. He was an AD here from 1930 to 1940.
Did anything catch your attention today?
He was a basketball coach here back in the historic days. Okay. So back when okay. So he
did anything catch your attention today at SC Media Days or more of a snooze fest?
Auburn was there. Corey, I got out of town.
You didn't want to be around that much.
Well, I just I wanted to.
I tell you what, yesterday, what Tyler Booker...
You're just trying to get me to say something negative about Auburn, aren't you, Corey? You just want me to say something bad about Auburn.
It's always good to say something negative about...
Hey, real quick. You asked the question about Hank Crisp. Lock these lines in real quick, Tommy, or Noah. No, I'm sorry. Can I join Tommy in there? There you go. All right, Tommy, tell Corey who Hank Crisp is because you're a historian. Tommy?
Coach Hank, he was everything.
He was what?
He was everything in Alabama. He was basketball, assistant football. He was a big part of the Rose Bowl team as assistant coach. He was the athletic director when Coach Bryant took over, got the head coaching job. He got both. Coach Bryant replaced him as athletic director, and he was inducted in the 1970 Alabama Hall of Fame. 4 to 6 hours before he was inducted, he suffered a massive heart attack.
Oh, man.
And passed away. But he is a legend as assistant coach at Alabama. I mean,
a legend as an assistant coach.
And
so that's something you wouldn't mess with.
No, he was famous for one thing. As a child, this is the thing. He had his hand messed up in a combine or something, and he had a nub but they say he can run. He was a heck of a little quarterback.
Tommy, here's the thing that's so crazy about you.
Yeah.
Okay. The crazy part is you did all that, and tell the people how much internet you have out in Romulus.
0.
Yeah, there you go.
See, I've heard these stories all my life. I'm not trying to step on Corey Cottle. We'll talk about it another day, but I've heard this story over. My grandmother ran a boarding house. Coach Mike Deany, the president, got her to open up, and she kept former football players and politicians. And there's two things were discussed at her house all the time. I didn't really get to know her because she passed away. Football or sports and politics. Hugo Black, who's a Supreme Court judge and Chief Justice on the Supreme Court from Alabama, ate at my grandmother's boarding house. And I'm going to tell the funny story. Nobody wanted him. My grandmother didn't like Coach Bryant. He took her business away. Her health was failing. And he built the dormitories for the football play and the thing. And she lost a lot of business. And she retired. And 2-3 years later, she passed away. But, no, this is my family legacy. Not why I'm so inclined to tell it, because it's a little history you're going to forget. Nobody will remember.
Tommy, you're our encyclopedia, and I know Corey appreciates you too, because I had no clue, man, but I appreciate you as always.
Well, I'm sorry, Corey, I stepped on your column.
Oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
Y'all are softball buddies, man. I mean,
I've never met them, so I don't know them.
I mean, but y'all are buddies. I mean, y'all have something in common. Y'all are like the two biggest softball fans in the entire country.
That's true.
Hey, Tommy.
Yeah, man.
Why did Kim Cahalan have to leave us like that?
I knew it would go into this.
I have no earthly idea. I was shocked. I'm going to say this. I don't have proof, but there was some tampering going on, in my opinion.
Uh-oh. You think?
20 hours after you lose to the team you go into? Something not right.
Well, did it seem odd? Did it seem odd to you? Her last at bat, she was benched. I think her mind was already made up before.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
can I tell you something? It can't go no farther between you and me. Don't listen to Ryan Fowler and other people. I think they messed with her when Florida came up here and played Alabama in the regular season.
And
it's a done deal. Her fielding was awful.
Florida's going to be loaded and a problem. I know that's months down the road, but it's like you said, tampering going on, and that's something NIL's got to get under control.
Toy, if we ever get internet, we're going to have a podcast. We're going to put Ryan Fowler in retirement. We're going to save his spot for young Finn. Noah hit Ryan. I know he didn't get enough sleep.
What is it? What is it?
Merry Christmas, Ryan.
What were you guys talking about?
Christmas. Yeah, Merry Christmas, Ryan.
Oh, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, you slept for football season. Well.
Hey, Ryan. Are you ready for fall camp?
I'm so ready I could tackle a tackling dummy. Yeah, I'm ready. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of feeling that you Alabama fans may not be able to hang a little bit. Y'all a little, I don't know, just a little hesitant a little bit. But anyway, I got to run, guys. Hey, appreciate it, Tommy. Appreciate it, Corey. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, man.
All right, road tide.
Good talk to you, Ron. Road tide.
Thank you. Let's continue. And no, I got to be honest, man. I've walked in that Hank Crisp indoor practice facility. I had absolutely no clue. And I went to the university's website. They don't have a ton of information on Hank Crisp. So glad Tommy's here with us, man. He bails us out. Let's take Robert and Brookwood coming up in a couple of minutes. If you want to jump in, 205-342-9904. 205-342-9904. I do remind you about Southern Ale House, 1530 McFarland Boulevard. 1530 McFarland Boulevard. Man, if you were looking for a great meal, let me invite you there with the biscuit sandwiches. Those are great options. Whether you're talking about a great sandwich like the Ale House Burger, the Pickle Burger, all those are great. But the specials are always great. The hot style chicken tacos are always an option on Thursday. Brisket po' boy, the blackened shrimp Alfredo, the dinner specials for this evening. Coffee rub prime rib, smoked pork chop, blackened shrimp Alfredo. And then on Friday, tomorrow for lunch, Boom Boom Shrimp Plate, Chicken Club, fried grilled, roasted wings. Oh, Lord, yes. I ordered the 10 plate, do a little Dixie style. That's the way I would do them. Tossed or not, you can choose. And then coming back tomorrow evening, they'll bring back the coffee rub prime rib, smoked pork chop over cranberry chutney, and then also chicken parmesan pasta. Monday through Saturday, lunch and dinner options, 1530 McFarland Boulevard. Eat Southern, Be Southern Catering. And also, coming new, Southern Ale House Dockside. Coming up on the north side of the town, up close on the lake. We'll talk more about that as we get close to that opening. Southern Ale House, 1530 McFarland Boulevard. We'll continue with more of your calls next. T-Town Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Now, this hour's West Alabama real-time news update from the Tuscaloosa Thread Newsroom.
A new Walmart neighborhood market is coming to Hillcrest off Highway 69 South after the Tuscaloosa City Council annexed and rezoned a parcel of undeveloped land on Tuesday. In the other direction, Sitar of India has announced plans to open a new drive-through and takeout express restaurant north of the Black Warrior River. And state and local police have issued a missing persons alert for a 19-year-old who was last seen before dawn on Thursday. For the details on these stories and more, get connected at TuscaloosaThread.com.
Get 24/7 local news coverage and sports updates when you download the free Tuscaloosa Thread app and sign up for twice daily email newsletters. Tide 100.9 Traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Tack on at least an extra 10 minutes to your commute if you are traveling on 2059 in both directions between University and Skyland Boulevard. Got a couple of different accidents in the area. Now, one you have here on the north, or actually both of them are on the northeast lane. Just
flavoristic.
The sandwich of the summer. The Maple Pepper Bacon Sandwich.
Order the Maple Pepper Bacon Sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Available for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Our coverage of SEC Media Days this week is presented by BetU. What is it? It's Alabama's first and only legal app allowing you to directly bet against your friends. No bookie eliminates the middleman, which means no house, no juice, no fees, direct betting head-to-head or with a group. More fun, social betting experience. Very easy with Apple Pay, debit, credit cards. No collection. It's automatic. And you can find it in Alabama, the great state of Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Louisiana, Texas. Why is it legal? Peer-to-peer betting legal because there is no house taking bets, only bets between your friends. It is a social network app, and it is a free download. You can find it for your iOS and coming very, very soon for Android users. It is BetU. Do a search for it, download it, and we're going to be giving away some great things courtesy of BetU.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A hot afternoon. A few spots could see a shower or a thunderstorm through the evening hours. The high today 95, tonight's low 74. Tomorrow partially sunny. Again, the chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms by afternoon. The high 95. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9.
Where the legends of Alabama football hang out.
McCarron, draw play. Lacey, huge hole.
Touchdown. Yep. Alabama touchdown.
The game with Ryan Fowler. Your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
I'm a man who doesn't know how to feel a contradiction.
My comment, and I think it's fair to say, okay, this is just Ryan's comment, and maybe this becomes a catchphrase, and we always say, you know, tomorrow's game will be at Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium, but just, like I said, it just doesn't feel like enough. I remember Kirk McNair and I visiting with this. We were talking about, and I can't remember, it was somewhere, because Kirk is a historian. I mean, he is a guy that is like Tommy. He could recall all these great stories, and when I interviewed Kirk McNair, one of the things that he said was, I said, well, what's the best way to honor Coach Saban? And he said, well, I hope that we do something more than just the stadium. I hope it's more than just, the field. It's some way that they incorporate that because and I think when you look at Kirk, he's been around here so long, he understands it. I mean, that's the part that I look at. If Nick Saban doesn't come to Tuscaloosa, I'm not talking about winning one national title, just coming and reestablishing this brand. Robert's been around here forever. I mean, this place was headed for where. I mean, it was destroying itself from the inside. Nick Saban came in and changed the entire direction of this place. He enhanced the university's value. When you go and you recruit, wherever you may be, you can go out and say, hey, look at the University of Alabama. I mean, there's professors that get more on grants simply because what? Nick Saban, the brand of Alabama has been enhanced, not just on the football field. It's across. The Pharmacy at Midtown, they're always enhancing the brand. 1800 McFarland Boulevard, Suite 334, 205-752-0627, 205-752-0627. The Pharmacy at Midtown, The Pharmacy at Midtown. T.J. Thomas, he's the Nick Saban of pharmacists. The Pharmacy at Midtown, second floor, close to the elevator, close to the stairs. You will find our good friends, The Pharmacy at Midtown. Let's go to Robert in Brookwood. Robert, good afternoon, sir. You're in the game.
Lord have mercy. I know for a fact Corey's a Democrat.
Why?
He rambled on for 15 minutes, and we're still trying to figure out what he was saying.
He wanted to know who Hank Crisp was. Tommy answered it for him.
Straight, a straw hat on the field, and why can't it stay there?
Well,
we love you, Corey. I'm just messing with you.
I mean, the grass grows.
Oh Lord, why can't you said something about you need something purple? Why not that? The straw hat. Look, the straw hat ain't even pretty thing. It's not AstroTurf.
Well,
Lord, it didn't turn into the ACC softball hour. I said, what happened to Ryan? Ryan went to the outhouse because you was off the show for 20 minutes.
and here I am.
Oh Lord!
It was.
I heard you. Did you went to sleep?
Noah had to wake me up.
Oh Lord!
So yeah, Noah had to wake me up. They were talking about softball and.
Well, I'm completely lost. Who did Florida come up here and rob from our softball team? What was they talking about? We lost a coach or something? I mean, I'm lost. I'm just Democrat talking. Tommy had a great point, though, in his first call about the McFarland Mall. McFarland Mall in the mid-'80s and late 80s, I'm speaking back when I was young, my teens and 20s, dated. The great hangout. It was a great place, but it's a dump now. It is an absolute trashy dump.
Well,
I'm not going to lie when I say this. We went there about a month ago with my mother-in-law, and she went in there to get something, and we took her, and she wanted to eat in the eat thing, and there was times, and I don't mean this in a bad way, I literally feared for my life. I said, hurry up, let's get out of here. That's how bad it is at University Mall.
I don't know if it's that bad.
Dude, no. You didn't see some of the crowds I saw coming in. I said, let's get out of here. There's trouble fixing to start. And it just needs to be tore down, and he had a great idea about, and there's nothing against the mall. It was nostalgia. But you're right. You said earlier, malls have just kind of, Midtown's just a thriving place. People want to pull up to the store, not just walk somewhere. But that would be that's a huge area. It already has RV parking, during football games, and the buses pick people up. So build something there affiliated with the university, and it would be great to build a bigger Bryant Museum. That way you could put Saban stuff in there. I don't think you need a Bryant Museum or a Saban, but put them together.
Yeah, I mean, call it whatever. I love to walk into the Bryant Museum. I love to listen to the different
It's just videos. Not big enough, Ryan.
Well,
it's just small.
And it is small, but, I mean, listen, you could double it and still have a lot. The only problem with doubling, let me kind of look at it from a marketing standpoint, just for a minute, Robert. They rotate exhibits, okay? They rotate exhibits, so there's new stuff in there all the time. That's part of the sales pitch is come through, look at the new exhibits. Okay, we changed this. Like Nate Oates' Final Four stuff is in there. That's pretty cool, right? Even though it's basketball, it's not football, and you kind of like, okay, it's a Bryant Museum, it's dedicated to football. No, there's basketball stuff in there as well. There's history about the University of Alabama, talk about the growth. You could really double it, and you'd still have and you still have a lot of stuff. I mean, that place, it's historic. I mean, you walk in and see all those championships.
Well, we're looking and expecting a national championship in basketball, so you got to think that segment's got to get bigger in time for trophies and championships, and it just needs to be bigger. I mean, it's great where it's at now, location-wise, on campus, but like Tommy said, maybe 5 or 6 years, but the university could buy that out and just build something bigger. Where University Mall is, and it'd be a great place to go visit. It's still centrally located,
Yeah. Yep. So, I think when you step back and you really get to think about it, maybe that is the answer, because, think about all the jerseys. Think about all the items that you could, parlay that into a beautiful, beautiful museum, whether it's the trophy cabinet, and to walk through a recruit. Think about what Caleb Cunningham told us a couple of weeks ago. He said walking through that football building is like a museum.
Yeah.
I know you want to have a separation, right? You want to have a public space, and you want to have that private space for those players because they deserve that and need it, because, a place for them to do what they need to do and, escape from the general public. I mean, these guys can't go out to eat. And,
but you also want a place that the general public would like to see all these SEC trophies and national championships, even if they're replicas, still you'd like to have a place for that.
And and because of the growth of the football building, that space that used to be above, when you walk in and you could walk up and see the trophies, those are gone. So that public space just kind of went away, because I think it's had to turn into office space, if I'm not mistaken. And so the watches of Coach Mal Moore down in the bottom of the of the Mal Moore football complex are still there, and beautiful display. By the way, if you ever get a chance, walk in and see all the watches and the rings and the items of Coach Mal Moore. It makes you reflect on this place. I mean, that's just one individual showing his items.
Well, I'm also telling you, with Greg Byrne as athletic director, the baseball team is going to get better and better. They're going to start having some championship trophies. I don't know about a World Series trophy, hopefully, but there will be some more back to SEC tournament days when we were winning that.
And we did not discuss this. We didn't kind of run through this, but I will tell you that they are looking at expanding the scholarship limit above 11.7. The 1 year
it would be great news.
The 1 year that I did not ask Greg Sankey about the baseball scholarships, it's actually being talked about.
Well, we talked about this several months ago. The other states have advantage of us. Georgia, Florida, a lot of teams, states that have lotteries, they get more scholarships in. We're just stuck here with it's hard. That's why I tried to explain to my buddy Jumbo about logistics of college baseball. It's a little different than here in Alabama. It was great what was this coach there in the 90s we had, Jim Wales, what he did, being limited with scholarships, having us consistently in the World Series. And, I knew Byrne, being a baseball man from Arizona, that he would get the baseball program. He made a good hire as Maryland coach. He's just got to give him a little time, but we're going to be fine in baseball. And it's just great to be around a program that's got a great football program, a great basketball program, and an upcoming baseball program, even softball. I mean, I don't want to leave them. And don't forget our golf team.
Maybe we could just build a mega facility, right?
But that was a great idea, but Tommy, you can build something there with the University Mall is, because it's a dump. And that's not trying to put it down, but you're right. There's so many empty spots in there, and
and for those out there listening that don't know, University Mall is it's a mall that is still open here in Tuscaloosa, and it takes up a big space, and it's really just turned into.
Well, I'm old enough to remember Ryan when it opened in '80, but in 1977 they filmed the movie Hooper here, where it was the old northern Northington. It was a hospital, during World War II for a lot of the soldiers to come here, and they filmed it there and blowed it up because they wanted to make something. And then Burt Reynolds was in that movie, if you remember, and Hooper, and they filmed it and blowed it up, cleared it out, built the mall. So a lot of history there.
And so
Northington Hospital, I think. Burt Bank used to talk. Remember Mr. Burt Bank? He used to talk about it a lot. He went there after he left being a prisoner of war there in Bataan, which, by the way, is a great story about him if everybody's ever read his book.
Yeah, Back from the Dead, Bataan Death
That's
March.
right. He spoke at a school, and I'm going to go, but he spoke at the elementary school when my son was there back in the late 90s. I got to meet him, and he talked about a little book. It's a little booklet, really. It's not a big, thick book. And he sent it. He was nice enough to send it to in the mail.
Well, there's
and I autographed it. And it's a great little book about his experience. It was horrible.
Well, and if you love reading about, the military battles, what he's talking about is Burt Bank, which if you want to tie Burt Bank to Coach Paul Bear Bryant, let me do it. Burt Bank started the first radio network for the University of Alabama. So the radio network was created by the late Burt Bank. And matter of fact, the station that you're on right here, 1230 WTBC, we were the original flagship station of Alabama Crimson Tide football.
We can credit him with being the father of talk radio in Tuscaloosa, right?
Oh, that's where I worked at. So,
and he was a great man, great American, and just like I said, he didn't have to do that. He sent us that book in the mail, the autograph, and I still got it and get it out for you to write and read it.
And if you ever want to read another one that I've got, it's called The Ghost Soldiers, and it's also about the Bataan Death March, which is something that is really, courageous. So many people lost their life, and what he's talking about is a local hero in Burt Bank. The reason I know so much about this, Robert, I mean, this is going to sound funny to some. I ran a marathon in the honor of Burt Bank out in New Mexico. It was called the Bataan Death March Simulation. And we simulated the Bataan Death March as much as we possibly could. And this happens out at the White Missile ranges out of New Mexico. And we ran it with the Air Force. And I ran it in the name of Burt Bank. 7 hours, 6 minutes, and 56 seconds. And that was...
you said this was in New Mexico?
Yep.
2000. Well, you went far from where they tested the first atomic bomb there. Too. That was part of that.
That's White Missile Range.
Yeah.
So,
all right, brother. Great to have a history lesson. I'm sure everybody wants to get back talking about Alabama, but I always remember Burt Bank. He was a great man.
Yeah, it was. I'm glad you brought it up, man, because Burt Bank used to tap on my window all the time, and he wore this championship ring that Coach Bryant gave him. And that ring on that glass would just bam, and he would say, time and temp, Ron, time and temp. You got to give them the time and temp. The people want to know the time and the temp. You got to put the time and the temp on. And I'd say, yes, sir.
85 degrees at 542.
Yes, that's what he wanted to know. He said, Ron, you got to tell them the time and temp. They must know the time and temp. You got to give them the time and temp. I said, yes, sir, because he was our boss. He owned the whole darn station. So thanks, man.
My high times have changed. Now we just look at our phone. Yeah. You don't have to do that anymore.
Time and temp. I can hear it now. Ryan, you're not saying time and temp enough. Time and temp, Ryan. Time and temp. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We loved him. Thank you, man. Robert in Brookwood will continue. We'll take Digger in Louisiana next. T-Town, Tide, 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Supply delivers within 30 miles. And if they don't have what you need, they'll get it. Cypress Supply, 2036 62nd Avenue, Tuscaloosa. Cypress-supply.com.
Big Mike's downtown Moundville, only about 15 minutes from where I'm located. Also in Gunnersville, Alabama, Thomasville, Andalusia, Auburn, Alabama, Orange Beach. You'll find one of the best steaks in the state of Alabama, voted by the Alabama Cattlemen's Association and many other great publications recognizing the great ribeye, the seafood entrees. You'll find those, the great service. It is Big Mike's downtown Moundville. If you're looking for a great steak, Wednesday through Saturday, 4 until 10, Big Mike's downtown Moundville. Blue Spring Living Water is located in Bluntsville, Alabama, Blount County, about an hour north of Birmingham. Blue Spring Living Water is harvested and bottled from a centuries-old natural spring on a private family farm. Blue Spring is an all-natural water source that flows just under 1 million gallons a day. They have partnered with Waterway of Alabama, and they've been in the water delivery business for over 30 years. To have Blue Spring living water delivered right to your home, right to your front door every month. New customers get their 5 jugs for $50, and the empties are exchanged every month for new ones. I know we have it at the Fowler household. We drink more water because of BlueSpringLivingWater.com. You can sign up at 205-602-3426. Talk to someone directly. Blue Spring Living Water can also be found Mark's Mark, downtown Northport, Publix, Piggly Wiggly, and in the southern part of our listing area, Rouse's Supermarket. BlueSpringLivingWater.com.
The best sports talk in the...
Just like the guy whose feet are too big for his bed. Nothing seems to fit.
I do remind you of the Wharf. I talked about him earlier about the steel-toed boots, but it's the work in Western wear for the entire family. You will find it at the Wharf, right there on McFarland Boulevard between Elgron, Patreon, and also the Blue Plate. You'll find the great folks at the Wharf. Since 1976, the work in Western headquarters for the entire family. It is the Wharf since 1976. The work in Western wear for the entire family. You can be found right there on McFarland Boulevard of Justin, Tony Lama, Red Wing, Georgia, Double H, Timberline, Laredo, and many, many, many more. It's our good folks right there. You know, Noah, I got to be honest with you. I'm a little tired. Got back late. Okay. A little bit drained. Maybe I haven't had as much energy I normally have. Had Tony Sakawas, which was a great guest. Aaron Torres kind of kicked things off. I'm not in the mood to take Digger today. I'm not in the mood. Just not in the mood to take Digger today. I see him up on the call board, but I'm going to skip him if that's all right. I don't know if I have the energy to fight today. I mean, I've already punched him out one time. Drew got him one time. So I don't know. I'm going to take Ellis right here. I know this is against the policy. If Ellis can talk a little bit, we won't even get to Digger. But Ellis, I'd rather talk to you than Digger in Louisiana.
Sabin Boulevard.
Sabin Boulevard. Okay.
Get rid of University Boulevard because everybody knows the university there, but name that old big street, Sabin Boulevard.
Sure. I like that.
He needs more than having the field named after his name. I don't think he deserves more than that.
Okay. I don't dislike the gesture. That's not what I'm saying.
No, I don't dislike it, but I just think he deserves more.
I mean, 6 national titles, 9 SEC titles. And for those who don't remember, he saved this university.
Right.
I mean, we would have still been here, but we'd have...
From disaster.
I mean, Ellis, we'd kind of become a little bit of the way that we were processing coaches, it'd become kind of a little bit embarrassing.
We were awful, Ryan. I'm born in 1964, so, I got to see the good times through Bear Bryant, and then after that, the bad times, then the bad times, and then the bad times, and then Gene Stallings come along, and it lifted it back up, and then bad times again, and then Nick Saban come in, and it was smooth sailing. So,
6 national titles. He won his first one in number 3, and you always try to, any job that you have, you try to leave it in a better position. And he did that. He enhanced the value. He doubled the population. So, Ellis, what are we going to talk about? Because I want you to fill the time right here. I don't even want to go to this Digger guy in Louisiana.
Let's talk about. Y'all was talking about the University Mall. We can't do anything to that property down there because there's a lot of people that pull up their campers over on the back side there, and that's where they do their tailgating at. So,
that's right.
That's right. There won't be no place to go to.
Well, and you know what? They've moved a lot of those RVs because they used to be over by Coleman Coliseum, and now they're over at the University Boulevard Mall. University Mall. So that's a good point. You never really thought about that, but here we are, man. We're tearing down buildings down here. We're trying to create something.
Well, when they gonna tear down that old filling station down, convenience store down there at the main red light?
No, they actually redid that a couple of.
That's been there for a long time, Ryan Fowler. That business was booming when I lived down there in Tuscaloosa. And the mall was booming, but not too much right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that place is dead. It's like death when you walk in. It used to be once a hopping place. Same as the other mall that's gone now, I think Nick Saban done good there on the set there, in my book, his new job.
Well, and think about those jealous non-Alabama fans. They're looking at it going, it's a recruiting advantage for the University of Alabama. Oh, it is. Oh, it is.
Cry me a handful.
Yeah, cry me a little handful.
Yeah, cry me a handful.
Where?
So deal with it. That's all I got to say.
All right, Ellis, now listen, I got about a minute and 30 seconds left. Should I continue to talk to you or go to Digger?
Continue talking to me.
Okay. What do you want to talk about next? Because he stole your time. What was it, yesterday he did?
Yes.
Yeah, so you're still in his. Take that, Digger, in Louisiana. Take that.
Your interview with Coach DeBoer was awesome, Ryan. Thank you.
Wasn't me. I just asked the questions.
Yeah, but you asked good questions, and it was really good interview. I enjoyed it. Just waiting on what is it now? How many days is it now?
Well, we're one Forrest Gump away. Forrest Gump wore the number famous 44 jersey, Ellis. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're one Forrest Gump away.
With his magic legs?
He did have some magic legs. Or no, that was Lieutenant Dan.
That was Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Lieutenant Dan, his magic legs.
Noah, how much time I got? Okay. You know what? I'm just not going to be able to get to Digger. Will you tell him to call back tomorrow?
Well done.
I mean, I can't believe you did it. I mean, how
all he wants to talk about is championship from everything else except for football because, what, how many championships they got, Ryan?
Yeah, not many. One in the last 54. Not many. Yeah. So take that. I gotta get Jesus his plug, man. Thanks.
Roll Tide, Ryan Fowler.
Roll Tide. We remind you that we call this program The Game, and the only way that you win the big game, the game of life, is to walk daily with our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Good night, T-Town. See you tomorrow at 2 on a Free For All Friday presented by Brian Harden Construction.
Thank you for listening to The Game with Ryan